Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are... Okay, fuck that. What up, guys? This is back at the comic book courtroom. This is Dylan. Joining me is Nick, George, and John like usual. We were kind of slacking on this one, but this is the discussion, breakdown, review, opinions of Suicide Squad.
Wait, how are we slacking? The shit came out
but
not
like
even
a week ago. We did it like in the parking
About
lot.
a week ago.
We're behind a little bit on this one.
All that chit-chat's gonna get you hurt. Okay.
Well, if you motherfuckers would subscribe to this shit so we can quit our day jobs, then we can do this day of and you can find out all about our shit.
We are here, and actually, quick shout out to your brother,
Ant Zalowski.
Woo! Zalowski.
On the graphic.
If you guys noticed in the beginning of this video, we are growing, we are evolving, and we have a cool little graphic. So appreciate it. If you guys like and share and subscribe,
DJ, what's his name?
Immediately mail you 1,200 first edition Charizards holographic and $2 billion in yen. This is not a trick. This is not a trick. This is not anything. This is not a scam. This is not one of those infomercials that will really happen.
I'm a real Nigerian prince.
If you like, subscribe, and share.
George is absolutely a real Nigerian.
So, like usual, this is going to be full of spoilers. This is going to be a discussion.
Spoilers.
So, join us and make sure to comment and all your opinions and all that stuff and what you guys thought of the discussion and the review. So, I guess we'll just start it off and do the normal 1 through 10 rating thing. Johnny, you want to pop this thing going? Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, rating-wise, I'm probably going to give it about a 7. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I saw it twice. I went and saw it again last night because I, saw some things that I, didn't really like as much the second time through. But I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. Like, there are definitely some issues. I don't like how they made the Joker and Harley Quinn, ideal couple. Way too loving for my taste. But, I mean, all in all, it was a fun movie.
Wow. Okay. No, before I even start interrupting.
I mean, I'm gonna.
Woo!
That's
Anyone-
my.
You wait your turn, boy.
Anyone want to do 1 to 10 on how many times Dylan interrupts anybody?
Oh,
in
he's
the
so
duration
hyped
of
for this,
Over
dude.
under
think?
15.
He just threw money at
my
me.
God. Okay, so you gave it a 7, John.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.
All right, cool.
I'll give it a 7.
And
Yeah.
Mr. George.
I don't know. A number I hadn't really thought of till like you guys started this.
Yeah, me neither.
You said 7. It sounded pretty good. Maybe
Well, I gave
closer to the
X-Men a
8
6.
scale. So I'll do my half numbers because I'm 7.5. We'll do that because I liked it better than Dawn of
George's
Justice.
half numbers.
I just don't want.
You liked it better than Dawn of Justice?
I did. I liked it better than Dawn of Justice first time round. I'm not including the director's cut. Blah,
How
blah,
is
blah.
that possible?
I liked it better. It was. Hey, because it like.
I agree.
It told the story
Let the
first
man
time
talk.
through.
No, it fucking didn't.
Yes, it did. It
Let the
told
man
a
talk.
story. It told a story. I liked it.
This is gonna be good.
And this is gonna be a heated one.
Tune in.
I'm gonna need another beer. All right, I'm only 2 deep right now. Like this is gonna get heated tonight. There's gonna be fights. So yeah, I'll say 7.5.
Okay.
And there was definitely a lot of flaws that I found with it, but there's also a lot of things I didn't expect to like that I liked about it. And Nick is staring me fucking down. So please tell me.
I'm not
No,
staring you down.
no.
I'm
That's
just-
it. I said
I'm
my
just
number. I'll talk
rubbing
later.
my head in disbelief. It's like when people talk about Trump. That's what's going on right now. It's like the same level of. I'm just like, what do you
Just
mean,
go.
dude?
Just do it.
What the fuck do you mean? What's my number, dude? My number's like a fucking strong 3 because it was in English, and there were pretty colors.
Well, that should already be a 4 then by Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, what a piece of shit this movie was. I'm so
hell?
angry with this movie, with
glad.
all the hype surrounding it and what it
Yes.
turned out to be. I feel like fucking Bill the Butcher, where he's like, oh, in what part of that excrementatious aisle? Dude, what a piece of excrement this movie is. It's literally like, and on the third day, David Ayer squatted, and what came out of him was the Suicide Squad. Dude, David Ayer being all like, fuck Marvel, and like that arrogant piece of shit, dude, the audacity to say something like that, and then to put this movie out, dude, if you're gonna say fuck Marvel, you better put out you better put out Man of Steel. You know what I mean?
He was echoing a fan that yelled that.
Oh, was he?
Both ignorant.
Okay, so I don't even know, but whatever, like...
Because I was curious about that too. I was like, why are you saying that to an established thing?
Dude, I sat and honestly thought about it because I was so upset after seeing this movie that, like, I sat for, like, 5 minutes and wrote a better script. In my head, wrote a better script than this fucking script. And, okay, and Dylan's gonna get back and go, he goes, on the phone to text me, he's like, so what did you hate about this movie? And don't give me any bullshit about, like, how, it had no story. Like, well, what the fuck? What do you want to hear? You know what I mean? Like, dude,
I want your opinion, not a copy and
piece
paste opinion.
of trash. I will get into why it's a piece of trash after
so you said
Dylan
a
gives
3?
his number. A strong 3,
13?
sir.
Okay.
All right.
Let's not forget
So
it
that's like
wasn't
a
English.
3.1.
That's on a
Oh,
scale
no,
of
George
1 to 2.
just half numbers. Go, Dylan. What's your
That's why I said
Dylan? What's your
0.1.
assessment of this movie?
George, I'm pointing at you. Remember when we were talking about, it was like 2 or 3 weeks before Suicide Squad was coming out, and I was like, hey dude, my hype has died down a little bit for this movie.
Yep.
Why?
Because I started doing a little investigating, I started realizing that this was, it's not going to be the movie that I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be heavily like storytelling. It's more of a splash and it's like an introduction to this universe is alive. So that's why, and it's not a bad thing that my hype died down. I was expecting Assault on Arkham movie.
Yes.
And once I started realizing
Yeah.
that that's not what it was, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a step back and kind of like look at this a different way. And that's what I did. I'm going to give it a 5. I loved, one of the things I'm going to get into before this, I'm going to give it a 5 because I liked, one of the biggest things was how, because David Ayer's like super realistic, like Fury, End of Watch, like very gritty, realistic type of filming and everything. Like he uses like the body cams and all the other dope shit, and like he's very like realistic looking. But I loved how they incorporated like especially in like the introduction, like they had like the glowing neon surrounding their masks, or like just the random touches of like trippy neon throughout the movie. I thought that was just like really cool. It like stood out a little bit. The reason it's not as high is because I'm a huge dialogue guy, and all the writing, there was maybe like 2 or 3 memorable lines
And they
in
were
this
all by
movie.
Killer Croc, yeah.
Fuck him. He shouldn't have opened his mouth. I
know.
wish he was a
I agree.
Hulk character.
Sorry, I didn't mean to-
But yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'll give it a 5. I did only see it once. I plan on seeing it maybe once or 2 more, 2 more times just to kind of like give that final thing. But I think it's gonna stay at like
You
a
think
5.
you're gonna do that in theaters, or you're gonna like wait till it's DVD?
I'm gonna
extra
see it one more
scenes?
time in theaters because we saw the IMAX 3D.
Yep.
I'd like to see it not 3D just to
Okay.
see it for what
I
it was.
enjoyed it better
They had some good 3D moments in it.
cinematography wise in 2D than I
Really?
did in 3D.
Okay.
Because 3D to me, just like you get that little like white like little border around everything because they have that one thing that pops out and it looks like a sticker book sticker in 3D on top of it, and it just annoys me.
So we got John
So-
at a 7. We got you, what, 7.5?
7.5. Just
7.5.
Well, because I gave Dawn of Justice a 6.5, and
Did you?
Yeah, I think.
Nick gave it a strong 3, and I gave it a 5. So let's actually dive into this.
All right, yeah.
And we're gonna
I didn't
just
wanna go
kind
too
of
deep,
we're
so.
just gonna hop into this. So I guess I'm just gonna start it off with Nick. You were talking about because you strongly dislike this movie. And I'm
Strongly.
Gonna yeah. So I'm really curious because I think there's a lot of likable things in this movie. Obviously, definitely not a perfect movie.
Yeah.
But I want to know like some of the biggest things that you didn't like.
Okay,
So
well,
just kind of start spinning it off. We'll
let's
kind of
start off with
branch
the
off
fact
you.
that there literally is no discernible story. Like I said to you, like, and I don't, like, I saw Assault on Arkham. I'm not like 100% sure. Like, I haven't watched it religiously. It's not like a movie that I can quote verbatim. But you mentioning that Harley Quinn was used because she knew the layout. You know what I mean? Like, again, like it would take me 5 minutes to write a story that would involve Harley Quinn that would like make sense. And they're like, oh, dude, we're gonna put together an anti-team of expendables, as you will. And I mean, and they're gonna be super powered, and we're gonna use them to fight like an evil Superman. If
Yeah.
an evil Superman comes along, and that's the rationale for making the Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. So why the fuck is Harley Quinn in there? She doesn't have any superpowers. She's just a crazy asshole. This like she has a bat. You could literally dude. You could have got one of the prison guards with a gun.
Can we when we were texting briefly the other day?
Yeah.
I agreed with you.
Yeah.
I think that even
What the fuck was
I
that?
think even the Justice League would have a hard time with Superman.
But
so
but hold on a second. In Assault on Arkham, wasn't there like a really strongly Joker-driven plot that like made it necessary for her to be in
this
there?
is where I'm going to segue from your stuff. Okay, the story-wise, definitely would have done if I was writing this movie and if I was David Ayer, I would have definitely went more Assault on Arkham direction. Now, in defense of the Enchantress and her brother being the villains,
Yep.
who were both shit.
I
They're-
loved Enchantress. Really?
No, so did I. So did
Are
I.
you, is that a character you're familiar with?
Enchantress, not too familiar with.
All right,
no.
well,
So
that's
so
good.
now this is
The
where
Marvel
I'm
one
hoping
more so.
that this kind of lets you kind of like it doesn't leave that bad of a taste in your mouth when it comes
Right.
to Enchantress, because she wasn't that great. Neither was her brother. Very forgettable bad guys. But what I liked with the introduction of Enchantress is the introduction of magic in the DC universe. Now that's huge. So now we have Justice League Dark, which are coming out with the animated film soon.
So excited for that.
But also magic is a big factor in a lot of like metahumans, including Superman, a big weakness. So now I just like the idea that part for Enchantress, story-wise, which is very slim. I totally agree with you that they should have, dude. Huge Joker fanboy, love, just worship the ground. Being as horrible of a character as he is, he's still interesting. He has the intrigue. He's awesome. Definitely would have went that route. It would have made sense.
You don't mean horrible character. You mean horrible person. Great character, horrible.
Well, horrible.
Like
being.
He's a dick. Yeah,
he's a horrible being.
Oh, I thought you were
but dude, I think that they should have went the Assault on Arkham route.
Or any story?
Because no, I don't think that you. I think that
there wasn't
you are,
much of a story. I didn't expect one though, so that's why I don't have. That's why I'm not docking it for it. I actually did like this movie a lot better than X-Men, which is also why I gave it a 7.
Hold on, so.
I know I'm trying to use those as references.
Me too.
Which might be hurting my scale.
Okay, no, hold on a minute. You're an executive at DC, and they come up to you and they say, John, we're gonna make a movie. We're gonna make a Suicide Squad movie. This is the script that you picked. This is the one out of literally, like I said, in 5 minutes. If you gave me 5 minutes and a piece of paper, I could write a better script than this that would make sense, that would be interesting, and that would, and I mean, we talked about this very briefly. 1 second, George.
I'm sorry.
I gotta get it out.
Get
we
it
talked
out.
about this very briefly, but the movie they should have fucking made was Harley Quinn and the Joker, because they haven't done that on the big screen yet.
Yeah,
and listen. Not only if they had used Suicide Squad as a backdrop for a Joker Harley movie, it would have made, you know what I mean? You could have made that make sense. You could have introduced Deadshot and all the other cool characters, and the fact that Boomerang took up screen time wouldn't have really made me want to punch myself in the dick like it did in this movie.
I thought it was fun, man.
Did you like Boomerang?
I think
you like that.
They did.
Well, you like Boomerang. You did.
I did, Nick.
You did.
I did. I'm
You
not
thought
going to
Boomerang
defend
was
myself to you. I liked Boomerang. I didn't like the fucking
Again, it's like talking to people that like Trump.
It's just
insane. It's
because they
fucking
don't share your
insane.
opinion.
Tell me about.
Nick, it's
okay,
good.
so why
Yes,
was
comic relief.
Boomerang good?
Because he was fun. He was funny. He was. This
You know
was
what
a
would've been
movie.
fun?
Hey,
A good movie
you
to go
answer my
to.
question or not?
Well, what-
You said you're going on.
What do you mean it was fun? Like, if they had My Little Pony in there?
You talk about the script.
Go.
You did the Man of Steel. There was the very
Go.
serious getting to this human element to a god. You did the Batman. They're gonna do all this other stuff. Dawn of Justice. It was like a friendship. Whatever the fuck you wanna call that stuff. This was just a fun one. The fans have been wanting it. Everybody who shops at Hot Topic to get by their
fuck
Funko
off.
Pops. That's what they wanted. So Dylan, to your point, and kind of to yours, you said you wanted a Harley Quinn Joker story. If they had
No,
done,
I said, why is Boomerang a good character? You said because he's fun.
well, yeah, but 10 minutes before that, I'm trying to respond to your whole fucking,
Well, hang
you were
on,
talking
hang on,
about
hang on.
Harley Quinn Joker.
Well, hold
and
on,
I think
because I feel like that's the kind of overlaying thing. Hold that
Okay,
Harley
alright.
Joker point, put a pin in it, because I do
Alright.
want to hear what you have to say. But I feel like that's the overlying kind of thing for Suicide Squad. Is everyone goes, "Oh, it was a fun movie. It was a popcorn movie."
'cause it was.
And it's like, well, they couldn't have made a good fun movie that was really fun. It didn't have to be the fucking most serious movie in the world. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be draped in black and wicked serious. You know what I mean? Okay, it was a lighter film, but it was fucking stupid as hell. Boomerang is a stupid fucking character.
Yeah, but so much of the, not just DC, old comic characters are lame, and they're
Really lame.
trying to
really
use it
lame.
and keep it true. What are they gonna do?
You think they could have
Do-
let Boomerang go? You think they're reading the script for
Who-
Suicide
who would
Squad
you
and they're
have
just
had? Yeah.
fucking like this, just like...
who would you have had?
And if you
Fuck,
picked
what are we gonna
if
do?
you picked your own crew, then people would be bitching that this isn't Suicide Squad.
Oh, I don't know if they would have been bitching.
I think they would have been. I think
Okay.
you could have picked cooler villains. You could have picked a team of just all of Batman's, because he has the coolest villains.
I know we
all
got a
agree
lot
on
of
that,
pins and stuff right now. We got a pin in the Boomerang, and or
No, we were
is that
just
done?
talking about Boomerang. Go ahead, talk about Harley and Joker.
No, I was saying that to Dylan's point.
Who
he's
would I have
talking
picked?
about-
I mean, literally anyone else. I mean, Boomerang is the most throwaway villain. First of all, he has fucking boomerangs. It's cute in the comics. It doesn't play in real life. You know what I mean? There's nothing to that. There's I guess deleted scenes that alluded that he was a fucking rapist and shit. And it's dude, pick what you're gonna do. Either you're gonna make it dark and real.
That was for Slipknot. Let me.
Oh, Slipknot. I'm sorry.
Can I just give you I think you went into this movie because we have, and obviously the internet and even in this group is very sided with these opinions, but for me, you have a big, epic movie, one of my favorite superhero movies being Man of Steel. And then the follow-up is Batman v Superman, which it took a while to pick up steam, but I feel like after the Ultimate Edition, we can all, I know for at least me,
it's valid now.
it's an excellent movie.
Yeah.
So now we have this movie, which we're expecting maybe like that same big push of story and like this deep character and all this. I think that what took my hype away is that I had to look at it as this movie is simply here to show that the DC universe and the cinematic universe is breathing and it is alive. Now, to go from that point, we have Boomerang, who is a main antagonist to the Flash. Mm-hmm. What about the Flash? That was awesome. Just to show that like this. There's a comic reference too, because even for some reason Boomerang is, but that's also going back to like old style comics where Boomerang has no anything against Flash, but he's in the same city, so Flash is a hero that stops Boomerang. So now we have that little Easter egg or little cameo, and you're like, oh wow, like dude, this is the DC universe, like because Boomerang is in there. He's been in the Suicide Squad. He was in the Assault on Arkham one. You know, he's there to be the douchebag. You have to have the person to die. Slipknot. We already knew that.
Yeah.
Completely useless.
That's how bad the story is.
And lack of introduction.
Katana should have died, but whatever. But you know what? We have the
How much of a throwaway character was Katana? Yo, you don't want to get cut up by that sword because it stores souls. Like, who wrote the fucking dialogue to this movie?
Bro, what if I could do that about Superman? I could do that like, oh, he's lame, he just shoots lasers and bulletproof. Like, but that's what the character is, and they're stuck with having to use that. What do you want to do?
Dude,
rewrite Katana and have her some new thing?
Dude, you can't just fucking throw characters together like.
But that's what Suicide Squad was. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do?
No, dude,
She's
there has
lame.
to be a means
We want
to
something
the,
cooler.
there has to be a means
it's
to
gonna
an
be Snake
end.
Eyes now from G.I. Joe. Like, what? You can't do
there
that.
has to be a means to an end. Like, it has to make sense.
I think in your
and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Suicide Squad movie, Nick, which I would love to see, but I think that every member of the Suicide Squad would be dope. And that's not how it should be. I think that the Suicide Squad is exactly what it is. It's a bunch of hooligans that just so happen to have some type of special ability, some stronger than others.
Yeah.
And they're thrown together with no choice.
There's no tryouts. It was just
choice. And they're just like, you know what? You can do this. And I think
no.
that's where you kind of...
No, because even the characters that were good were bad. To me, like, and I disagree with you with Killer Croc. I actually kind of like Killer Croc.
Oh, his dialogue was awful. Him as a character was okay.
His character was kind of cool.
But like, yo, bro, I was grown in the underground, and I'll put BET, and I'm beautiful. Like, it was just corny.
Yeah, but that literally wasn't any worse than anything that Deadshot said.
Deadshot was
good.
Deadshot's oh, I hated his dialogue. I was like, oh god, stop.
Nah, dude, they touched on the seriousness of it and his daughter, and I think that halfway through the movie, you kind of realize that like this dude's just hiding like his sarcasm because like he's in pain. Like I like that.
I couldn't get behind like when he was being sarcastic in jail, like kind of as a front. Like okay, you know what I mean? Like
he wanted the abuse. He felt like he deserved it.
Yeah, or whatever. Whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna like psychoanalyze his character because it's like paper thin. But I mean, you know, as soon as they got out into like a serious, again, it's like, it's so dumb, dude. Pick one that we're gonna do. We're either gonna do comic book movies or we're gonna do movies that we're supposed to care about set in real life. You know what I mean? Like I don't read fucking comic books that you know are written like that. You know what I mean? I just don't do them. So seeing a movie like that, like what happened at the end? So Harley Quinn grabs the sword and cuts.
The whole third act was
from the
atrocious.
chest.
It was
but
bad.
this is the thing though, dude. So she takes the
slow-mo
sword.
scene was like laughable. I was like, dude, this is way too drawn out. But I did.
Well, hold on. So here's a sword that cuts the hole in the chest, and she takes the heart out, right?
Yeah.
Why do people think that swords are more effective than guns? Why is that, dude? That isn't real life. That's like
a special sword.
You're a special sword. Dude, it's not real life. Deadshot's got fucking dude. He's got guns all over everywhere that shoot bullets.
And he took down their whole army running down the street, and that scene was fucking awesome.
One of the best action scenes I've seen.
I thought that was sick, dude.
That was actually a good scene.
You see all the Spec Ops guys dropping their guns like, oh shit,
and everyone was just kind of like, why?
They're like getting fucking chills thinking about it.
That's actually...
He turns around and he's just like, yeah, how's that for
That was dope. That was
a good scene.
And every time he dropped and got the next gun out of his arsenal, it just sped up. So he
yeah, you could see him kind of like getting into it.
Dude, I was like,
he was feeling it, dude.
Nice.
That was great. He was
but again,
nice.
All right, so let's pull this back a minute.
Yeah, let's go back again.
to me, this movie had moments of. Not unlike the original cut to Batman versus Superman, some of the moments in it were amazing.
What, Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad. Some of the moments were great. That was one of them.
Excellent, yeah.
Diablo at the end.
Yes, I was gonna
was
say
good.
that. I was actually gonna ask if you liked that scene.
What
I
a
thought that was
sneak,
badass,
what a
dude.
sneak character, dude.
That was fun.
Like, I was not expecting to be like, yo, Diablo's dope.
I like
I loved his
Diablo.
backstory.
Yeah.
He was cool, man.
The whole thing of
Even
him.
his abilities, because they kind of kept that from the trailers. I don't mean the fire control, but I mean like the extent of his fire control, like wording. He did that, the glass,
The
over
dancing
like,
thing,
that was sick.
yeah.
He was pounding on it.
Yeah.
Like, he was a cool
I
character.
agree,
He took me by
100%.
surprise. So
Yeah,
that was
but
kinda
he's like he needs his own movie. You know what I mean? Like that's, or at least like half a movie.
Yeah.
Like you don't just throw him in.
He
You know
could
what I
show
mean?
up again, I think, but I mean, I definitely agree that he could show up again and be like cool still.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, solo movie or whatever. Deadshot, easily a solo movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could easily get another movie by himself.
Well, just because of Will Smith.
No, because they wrote Deadshot awesome.
You like the way they wrote Deadshot.
I thought Deadshot, dude. I love the Joker. I thought Jared Leto did great, and I obviously was always expecting just to like for him to steal the show, which I'm kind of glad they did the little tease, but we'll get to that. Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Diablo, in that order, I think were the sickest. Like I was just like, dude, I was rooting for Deadshot. I was like kind of chuckling at some of it. You know, I am with humor.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was placed well. Some of it was kind of douchey and lame,
Yeah.
which is whatever. That's me with any comic
felt like
book
it was
movie.
organic,
I'm
though?
like, fuck, dude, your humor's dumb. But some of the stuff that he said, like when Amanda Waller freaking blasts him, he's
That's
like,
gangster.
that's gangster. I'm like, yo, that's some shit that I would say in that moment. And I'm
You
like,
felt- you
that
felt
is.
like it was like organic dialogue for Deadshot.
I
Like, it
think
wasn't really, like,
that's
forced.
part of most of his dialogue. Yes.
Alright.
Especially if you're comparing it to, like you just said, with Killer Croc. Dude, there was so much. Like, Harley
was
Quinn.
bad.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet ya. Is that scent of death or something? I'm like, shut the movie off right now.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Harley
When
Quinn did.
Katana walks up in the helicopter, puts out her hand, Harley Quinn, nice to meet ya. That's a lovely smell. Is that the stench of death? I'm like, no, that's the smell of me cutting my own face off.
Yes.
Unbelievably bad.
Did you see the newest Transformers with like those two little
Unbelievably bad.
like SA
Yeah.
robots?
Yeah.
That's how Killer Croc was to me. Like this cliche, corny, stereotypical.
Oh,
character.
just like the black guy
Yes,
stereotype.
dude. It's like,
or
yo, I
whatever.
want BET.
So
myself.
corny.
Like, what?
So
like, This
corny.
is just so.
They should have
dumb.
made him the Groot and Hulk character.
Yes,
of
very few-
This movie, they should have made him big. I mean, what's his name? Adewale or whatever his name is.
That's
who's-
7 foot whatever.
No, no, the dude who played
Oh.
Killer Croc. I thought that he did good. Like, you know, he had the motions down. He looked like, and I love the introductory scene where he's like walking towards the jail cell and his eyes are glowing. I'm like,
Yes.
badass.
And the blinking, like,
yeah, completely
yeah.
badass. I was like, that's awesome. But I mean, you know, that's one of the things that made me give this as low of a rating. Like, dude, there was literally like, okay, so speaking of Harley Quinn, when she did the psychoanalysis on Deadshot real quick, it was real quick, easily being, you could have missed it if you weren't paying attention. They're on the stairwell. She's like, you ever been in love, sweetheart,
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't have blah, blah, blah. And then she quickly diagnoses him as like like an antisocial blah, blah, blah.
Typical
Stereotypical,
psychopath.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Like,
I'm
the real
like,
Harley's still in there.
I pointed
yeah.
at the screen. I was like, yo, she did what Harley and Quinzel does. So I like that they gave that little flash of that she's still intelligent. And also, I'm kind of bouncing around, follow me here, the part where Enchantress is showing what they really want, and she's got the family and stuff.
That
I'm
was
like,
brilliant.
oh my god, that is amazing. I was like, that's amazing.
So she's not broken.
That
She's
is
just-
amazing. Straight out of I was watching this thing where that was from Mad Love, I think the comic issue was or whatever, where it touches on Harley Quinn wanting to have a family with the Joker. They have the Joker and Harley Quinn baby and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like that is amazing. So when she did that, I was like bravo to dialogue.
Yeah, that was great.
Obviously,
That was great.
Joker with
Actually,
like
I want to like ask everyone's opinion on Joker. Whenever you guys, I mean, I'm not trying to.
no, we're back, dude.
I-
We're honestly we're
Let's
freestyling
have
right now.
the Joker.
I
talk.
kind of want to do a lap of like what everyone thought of the Joker because I got some opinions on that. And I actually
what
haven't
do you
asked
think about
Dylan.
it?
Me?
Yeah.
So like
Were you a fan?
for the Joker, no. But as a villain, yes. And like I was kind of thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I did the same thing for Dawn of Justice with Lex, and I feel like it's the Lex effect. It's like he's a good villain. I hated him as Lex. Same with his Leto. He was way more in my eyes a Penguin-esque character than he was a Joker. I felt like he cared to, like, the gold chains and bling and club owner and the dude, I don't know the guard's name, but how he's like bailing him out of jail, like with the money and the cash, and even his dudes in the
Frank
room.
the Body Gibbiotti.
That dude is funny as hell. No, but even the dudes in the room with him at that time, like gold-plated stuff, the AK's gold-plated, and I just feel like he's way too...
It's very this generation.
It's a very mob boss mentality, which again
But-
is more of a Penguin.
I
Just like
didn't
Lex
mind
is
that
more like
because
Riddler.
of like how Mark Hamill was saying before the Killing Joke. Like the Joker can be pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And like, so I didn't really have a problem with like it's a different take on it. It's still the same effect in the end, I think.
But it's the ties to, like you guys have spoken this in the past, like the ties to humanity that, like, in my eyes, Joker hasn't had. You were talking about the love story earlier.
But-
I'm talking about the money.
But
Yes.
it makes perfect sense if it's Jason Todd.
It's not. He said no, though.
I know. It was said because he smashed out his teeth or whatever. Like there was reference
That was my
to,
other thing.
But check this out.
Pinball.
As Jason Todd, it makes perfect sense because he's not the Joker.
yeah.
He's like turned into the Joker. So he has a lot of his ties to humanity and stuff like that, and that explains all the flash.
Okay,
you
but
know what I mean? Like all the bling and the fucking
Then,
car.
if
You know what
that
I mean?
happens,
because
I will
hold on,
come
'cause
back to
think
this
about it.
and change my mind.
Think
but
about
that's not
it
what
as
we're
like
told.
right, but think about it as like that's the only way that it makes sense to me. If this is just the Joker for this generation, then it can suck a fat cock.
But exactly that.
But if
That's
it's
an
it's Jason Todd,
I'm not going off
then
this.
it makes completely
I'm
sense.
going
It
off
makes
of
complete sense.
this is the Joker as of right now, as of what I'm being told.
No, I've been
As of-
looking at it like it's Jason Todd.
This was the Joker.
If this is the Joker, like if this is the way that they want the Joker to be now,
was
he
supposed
can
to be a
suck my balls.
That's like that must be like a generation thing.
No, I'm with Nick. Like, I don't think that this was a good Joker. I think he was a cool
Way
villain.
too attached to the
He
things
was-
of this world.
He was,
but
wicked.
it makes sense if he's Jason
but
Todd.
I'm not even gonna play with that yet. Again, like I said, I'll bite my own words if it comes back. Look, in a
But
future
that's how
movie.
it would be good. That's how it
Fine.
would make sense
But
because he is
it's
so
not that
attached
way
to the things
now.
of this
So
world.
we
Because
saw
like
the
we
movie.
spoke about in Killing Joke, the Joker's a tornado. He's a force. He has no business owning clubs. He doesn't want to just get on own
Exactly.
clubs. He likes to. He hangs out in broken down toy buildings because
Yes.
it's fucking awesome. And
And the thing is with his followers again, with all the gold plated,
Right,
you
right.
can tell they're with him for money and all this stuff. And I feel like in the past, the way I've always seen it is they're more of like a cult following. They're more of they
Right.
admire him, respect him, or fear him, so they're with him. Not this. Yeah, he pays really good, so I'm with this dude. Like,
Yeah, but
and
the
that's
gold-
what I
They
got.
also touched on that too when what was it, Common?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
Common's
yeah.
like, yeah, he's like, I mean, they say, yeah, don't disrespect him or disrespect his Harley or whatever.
Yeah.
But dude comes in, he's just like, nah, man, that's your chick, but like, he just shot him in the head because he, you know.
Yeah, but
Is
he'd
it
already
because he-
crossed the line.
Right,
Like,
but
but
that's what I'm
there's-
saying.
there's, like, a little
but
bit of
there's that
homage
in
to,
there.
like-
That's
like
why
to-
you don't get on his bad side too. So I feel like a lot of it is fear. Like, yo, this dude's gonna blow
But again,
me
but
apart.
not fear like it's supposed to be. Like it's supposed to
Yeah.
be fear of the fact that he's psychotic,
Oh my
not fear of like
I
the.
still think he's pretty
Well, you-
psychotic, man.
not- not-
I'm letting you guys talk. I want to hear this.
so
See, I wanted
to
to
me,
bring-
the Joker's feared because he's so psychotic because he might kiss you. You
I
know
thought
what I
they
mean?
also, like-
that's how nuts the Joker is. That,
That-
like,
I
shit is
thought
off
that
the
was
chain.
gonna
Not
happen.
because he's Tony Soprano, dude. You know what I mean?
no,
Like, come
man.
on, give me a break with that shit. But I like the flashy guns and stuff like that. I thought it was like a throwback to like the Cesar Romero days of like the Bang Pow of like how everyone's kind of dressed up like in their own. You know what I mean? But like I can't. Go ahead, Dylan. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan is sitting here rubbing his face. He looks like he's gonna cry or
No.
punch quarter.
No, I'm not
sure.
gonna punch any of you guys. I'm just like just
will,
surprised. I think that.
What do you think? What was your
I-
What was your take on your favorite villain?
I think that this Joker was definitely made me uncomfortable, but I was like excited to see what they brought to it. Already a huge Jared Leto fan, anyways. I
Uh-huh.
think he's a great actor.
Same.
But when when I was sitting in the theater and I finally got to see what I love. You know, the voice. I love the flamboyancy of him, and I think the Joker, like, for you guys to sit there and say that Joker, like, has never, like, dude, Joker's always worn suits. He's always like worn, like, yeah, not necessarily like chains and stuff, but like you have like even like the tuxedo, the infamous, like, what is it, the Alex Ross where he's holding like Harley
That was
Quinn
awesome.
dancing or whatever. Like he wore the tuxedo throughout.
Different.
The trench coat is like just this generation's purple suit that.
But it wasn't just the trench coat though. He had like 4 or 5
And
truth throughout the whole
and the
thing.
teeth. You know what, dude? Like, yeah, you know, it's a little because the Joker smile is like a very like that's the point of the Joker is the smile. So you like that's a big risk. And I was like, ooh, I was like. Grills, okay. But then I was like, oh no, not grills. Like, okay, it's like replacements because he got his face
I
smashed
like
in.
that just fine.
And I was like, okay, I like that. I'm like, that's cool. And I thought that you know what? I think that the whole Flash, especially with like you guys who was saying, I think it was you with like the like his followers or whatever. The Joker is always in video games, in the comics, in the cartoons, whatever. He's always had like a crew. He's always been kind of a mob boss, but like he's always been like very eccentric. And I think a lot of the most memorable mob bosses, you know, with like you know like Scarface and freaking what's the dude in what is it Carlito's Way or whatever. Like they're just or American Gangster with Denzel Washington. These dudes are not like the typical like sit down like okay yeah we gotta talk and we gotta do that. Like yo dudes are handing out turkeys in the middle of the streets, they're blowing dudes heads off in the middle of the streets. They have the fear.
You're thinking
but
New
they
Jack
also-
City. You're thinking Nino Brown.
No, I'm talking American Gangster where Denzel's just like say it again and he blows dude's head off in the middle of the street.
I don't remember.
Well, all I'm saying is that I think that we're missing the point of like mob boss doesn't necessarily mean like he has to be like that serious. I think the Joker can still have his flair, and I think he did. I think that okay, you have the money, that's fine. But just because Joker has the money to hand out doesn't mean that
Everybody
he gives
needs money to live, though. Like in general, they just don't really.
Even
like,
the Joker
approach
in
that.
Dark Knight needed money. Even if he's not, he's still got a suit. He bought himself he's like, you should like it. You paid for
But
it.
here's the thing.
Dude, come on.
He didn't though. Gamble paid for it.
Yeah,
He
but
didn't.
that's
He didn't.
okay. That's fine, but he's
that's
still
the thing.
using the money. And okay, cool. But
he
this
burned
Joker,
the money.
Exactly.
But this Joker is okay, cool. Just because we're not seeing him burn money or whatever, he's still driving Lamborghinis off the fucking bridge. He's still fucking just buying tons of whatever.
It doesn't make sense to me as a Joker character.
It doesn't, and you just compared him to a bunch of like gangsters, and the way I saw him in that movie was almost as like a druggie, and like half those dudes you just named, that's what it was like all about. He's very just like, it's not a psychotic thing, it's just like fucking like, oh shit, he's not stable because he's a fucking, like that's what I was getting out of that.
As long as he's not stable, I'm fine with that.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, my thing is, didn't David Ayer say that he got his teeth punched in because
Batman
after he killed Jason Todd? And it also says that Harley Quinn was an accomplice in the murder of Jason Todd.
Sure.
Or
That's
Robin.
what he says.
It flashes
I mean,
across
I
the
don't
screen.
know.
It flashed across the screen when
You did
they're
catch that
talking about.
second?
Yeah, because I saw it
Okay.
again last night. It says accomplice in the murder of Robin.
Awesome.
That being
Fucking
said, she's in the room talking to him before she's even accomplice to anything. He's already got his grills, so continuity there is kind of. How are
Unless
you an accomplice
they're
in it?
saying this to keep the surprise.
Right.
Which would
well,
be
that's
cool.
what I'm saying.
That will be cool,
But
and I
like,
hope you're
how are
right.
you gonna say that she was an accomplice in it, and that's how he got his grills? If that happened before she was.
Oh,
an
of
accomplice
course. I
to
mean, the
anything.
timeline
Hold on,
doesn't
but
work.
are we-
but,
That
you know.
that was my big issue.
But what are
with
you
it.
talking about? Like, are you saying?
You know, when
like,
they were like, she was trying to work with him, blah blah blah. She thought she was saving him, and then in the end, she just fell in love with him or whatever. Like that whole thing, he's already got his grills.
Yeah.
So
So
he
how
couldn't
is she?
have been
She
an
couldn't have
accomplice
been an accomplice to something
while
if she
she's
wasn't
not Harley
even
Quinn. but
didn't
she's
even
still
know him.
Still
So,
a
yeah.
psychiatrist.
That's what I'm saying.
Or
so
the
like,
teeth thing wasn't related to the death.
right, but either way, like he came out and like point blank said that. So like that's when I saw it again, I was just like,
Good,
all
he's
right,
lying about it
you
all.
said
And
something,
he's-
so that was a
he's-
huge lie. So maybe
Well, there's plenty of opportunities. Okay, fine. Then it wasn't because of the Jason Todd murder or Robin.
Right,
murder,
either
whatever.
way, but-
Batman's punching the shit out of Joker, and his teeth are finally falling out.
Yeah, but it's
Cool.
weird that the director would give that away as
Yeah.
something that would be a plot point, unless he was trying to. I mean, I'm giving David
Mislead.
Ayer a lot of credit, considering the piece of shit that he just put out in front of me and called a movie. To think that he would have the foresight to give people like
Well, it's
a
not
red
just it's not
a
just
red
him
herring.
though. You got quite a few directors
Well,
in this
for
universe
dude,
that are going to be.
sure. I mean, and they had
helping
Snyder
out
on
with
as a producer and stuff like that. But I mean, for him to give a red herring like that would be genius. For him to get everybody thinking that it's like that, and everyone's like,
That would be
oh,
cool.
whatever, and to have it actually turn out to be Jason Todd.
Just kidding.
But okay,
That'd
so
be-
back
yeah,
to Joker, I think that the crew aspect of it was cool, and I even loved when they were breaking them out. It's very Joker-esque. They got the weird mask, the goat head. Like,
that was great.
They're dressed as a panda bear, and like
Well, that was another one of those great moments in the movie.
Completely Joker crew shit, like to a point. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, and I love the masks that were just like blacked out, or like they had whiteout or blackout, and then there's just a big chainsaw smile looking thing.
Great.
I like the V metal plate.
Yeah.
It was just like bulletproof. Like the dudes are walking, so it's like a plate, like a metal. I don't know. That was fucking badass.
Yeah, that worked.
That was foamy Batman head.
Because it's still very
badass.
like, once again, this is like this generation. They're touching on like that side of it. I
Well,
guess.
that's actually homage to the oldest version of it, which is the Cesar Romero one with the fucking, like I said, like the gold-plated guns and the goofy helmets and stuff like that. Like that's all back to, you know, like.
But it's
Goon
also
1 and Goon 2.
very prominent nowadays too. So like you can look at this and be like, okay, that make like if I were to step outside right now and I were to see some drugged out psychopath, gangster, mob boss. Crazy
mean the
clown
look,
dude.
the look.
I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Just like we were talking about, like the world was introduced to the Superman. Like they literally filmed that movie to. We're done to having this podcast. We step outside and we see fucking Superman fly by.
Yeah.
Like that's what this DC universe is, with a splash of the supernatural. Now we have the magic included too.
No, and he was a good villain. Like I'm not trying to like hate on your boy.
No,
like,
dude.
Joker?
If you don't like him, you don't like him. I'm
again-
just giving you the reasons as to why I think he makes sense and works
I know,
very well.
And I know it's all opinion. I know me and Nick will never see eye to eye on like almost anything. But I did say he's a good villain, just like
Anything
Lex
ever.
was. I just don't think that, in my opinion, he was a good Joker. And like, I mean,
I totally agree
I'm not
with you.
saying.
Why would we not agree with that?
And I
we
never-
literally agree with that point.
Well,
that
then
you
fine,
just
that
said.
one thing.
Literally the one thing that you just said, following saying that we'll
the
never
crew
agree.
thing, though, like I'm not saying that he never had a crew. I mean, you go back to the Jack Nicholson one; he had his crew.
no,
there.
I know.
They were gonna spray paint smiles on like
Love it.
art because he didn't care about the art. Like he didn't, and that's what I like.
Even the Jack Nicholson one was very gangster-like.
Yeah,
You know, I
But,
mean,
like,
the Joker's
not like
always been a
though.
gangster.
No,
like
this
Different
Joker.
kind.
Do you watch Breaking Bad? Do you guys remember
Yeah, of
Tuco?
course. Yeah, I know. Fucking
This
Tuco.
Joker reminded me of Tuco. Like
that's a compliment.
no, it's not. Not for a Joker character. For a villain, yes. Everyone's like, yeah, Tuco was an awesome villain. I loved Tuco. He was crazy, but like
was great.
he was not insane. He was just. I don't know how to describe it. Like
drugged out, like you
Yes,
said. Like
and it's just-
if he wasn't on so much fucking meth, he might actually make sense of himself. But
Exactly,
it's
and that's what this Joker seemed to be. He
Right,
didn't
and like
have,
you said in the other podcast, the Joker being the force of nature, it has to come from within. The character that's the Joker is visceral. It's in his balls. You know what I mean?
So now you guys are saying that you think it's just more like a drugged out Joker and not a within Joker.
I
You
don't
don't
see him
think-
as being,
you don't
like,
think
really,
he's an
like,
intelligent,
drugged out.
chaotic force.
No,
I said the drugged out thing.
Okay, so
that's what I
now
got from him.
I don't see him drugged out. I see him as very materialistic, which, like, again, and I'll reiterate, makes sense if he is.
He is very
coming-
materialistic, and he's
coming
very
from the
possessive,
world.
and he likes his things. Hence Harley Quinn. He's got her
So,
dressed.
all right, so let's get off.
I'm
Go ahead,
going
go ahead.
to explain some of this stuff to you. Not saying you don't understand, but I'm going to explain how I'm looking at this.
Go.
So we have the club scene.
Uh-huh.
Harley Quinn's dancing around. She's dressed up. She's got the jewels on. Whatever. She's looking good. Joker is sitting there watching her, watching her being like, that's mine. Like, awesome. That's his trophy wife. That's his trophy. That's his thing. Dude comes in, disrespects it, and he's just like, Harley Quinn! And he's just like, come here, babe, blah, blah, blah. He's just like, make our guest comfortable. Now, this is the whole intelligent, psychotic part of it, where Joker, and also the touch on the love story part, which I'm fucking obsessed with already. But Joker is just like, yeah, make it comfortable. And he's just, and like you said, he fears him. So he's scared. He's like, no, dude. And then she sits down. He's like, oh, you're kind of cute. And then it pans back to the Joker's face. And he's got like this rage. He's got this insecure rage face going on where he's like looking like, you touch her, I'm going to fucking kill you. Like, and I saw that and I was just like, yo, that's terrifying. Because not only is he doing the Joker thing by playing and being like, yeah, sit down, blah, 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 blah. Almost coaxing himself to do the murder. To be like, yeah, babe, sit down on his lap, flirt with him, okay, now move. Bah! Like, I was like, that's terrifying. So now they're gone and now they're in the Lamborghini or their fucking car or whatever, and they're just laughing it off like nothing ever happened. And he's looking at her being like, we've got, like, you know, like as if nothing fucking happened. I was like, that is amazing. Now, they obviously had the cuts with like the Joker, but the abusive side of it, which I think is necessary, they more or less showed some psychological stuff. Now, who
said in the beginning, because I was literally about to say when you started in, forget about the Joker for a second, but what about the relationship between the Joker and Quinn?
That was me.
him.
Now, hold on a second. What the fuck was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. I wanted to talk about that, but...
Yeah.
So, what about the fact that, like... What about the... Let's talk about the love story itself. Like,
Yeah,
how they changed that up. So, go ahead. Keep running.
So so now we have like the psychotic part where we have like that part where he's playing with her. That's in its own right an abusive way to have a relationship because he's pretty much using her as a weapon. Okay, now back to the material things and the possessions and everything of Joker. One of the sickest looking scenes and coolest scenes that also showed the psychoticness and the materialism was the trophy room scene, where he's sitting there drugged out or whatever, staring off into nothing, and then his assistant comes in and he's got the fucking face paint. He's got the smiley face like kind of drawn over his face. I was like, okay, cool. And then he comes in, it's like, hey, we found her. And he's just in his trophy room. So now we have the circle of knives, the circle of guns, the circle of roses. We got the baby clothes, we got the broken piano, we got the champagne bottles, we got other weapons or whatever else. And then he's got like the lights, and it's just like he's just laying in the center of it. He's got like, I'm just like, that one scene right there is literally... It completely described what we have in store for this Joker, because everything you saw in that room is what the Joker is. He has like the little baby clothes, which is hinting at either like family aspect or something, but it's definitely the red roses, hinting at the actual love of Harley, which he's always loved Harley, but it's always been like an abusive love and more of like a utilizing her as a tool type of thing.
Yeah, and this is way too love.
This one,
Way
he
too
actually,
love.
This one, he actually cares about her, but in a way, not really, cause he's putting her into danger, using her. Fucking drove off a bridge and he's like, put in, I can't swim, and then he just dips out. He's like, see ya. Like that, he's still the dick. Like he's still like the evil Joker.
My problem
towards her.
is that they filmed this whole movie of him being a dick, because in the trailer he smacks her across the face. They cut that out. Like, I'm sure there was a lot of stuff they filmed that made him a lot more abusive. My problem is they were gonna get yelled at.
Well, it's a
It's
like,
it's
Like
very
Apocalypse
politically-
choking Mystique. Like,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
This day and
You
age,
can't
yeah.
do that, so then they cut it out of the movie. That's my problem
Dude, that
with it.
scene I read about it is an excellent scene. They're talking about how Harley was just like, hey, don't ever use me like that again, after, because like it's talking about using her to kill Common's character,
Yeah.
the tattooed man or whatever, and she actually takes a gun out and points it at Joker's forehead. And I actually have a picture. I'll have you put it in the video. And he's just smiling, and the whole scene is him being like, "Come on, babe. Like, you know I love you. I just this, and this." And then as soon as like she lowers the gun, that's when the backhand comes. Like,
Right, which, I don't know, I feel like that kind of needs to be there.
Yeah, why would that scene
You know
not
what I
be in
mean?
there?
No,
I get
should've.
it.
It definitely should have, but you also have to, once again, you have these studios that are gonna be like, yo, you need to not have certain things in there. Dude, this movie, China still hasn't
It's
given the
going to,
green
probably.
light
I heard that it's not going to
on this movie being
It's
played.
never been.
Wait, what?
They're not even
China
playing in
is
China.
not going to let this movie be played because
Why?
it's the glorification of like these criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very they're not they're just like
Which is
this
huge
is not
for sales. It's usually the second country like in the world.
Oh,
for
yeah,
movie
huge,
sales. So it's
huge.
like
Well,
for them
shitload
to
of fucking
so
people.
many people.
Yeah, I was
there.
about to say,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna see a movie in
Which,
China.
whatever money,
No,
I
but-
guess I get that, but you know.
Well, but and I mean
going to
that's
love
that's
thing-
also like a big point to make is that like I've always considered the Suicide Squad story to be like not Hooker with a heart of gold. I've always just kind of considered them to be villains. They're just villains and they work together for their own best interest while it serves the single interest. You know what I mean? They're not working as a whole out of any virtue, but rather out of necessity.
But that's what this movie was. And
No,
you're
it
just
was
complaining there's no
not.
story
It
about that.
absolutely was not. This
That's
movie
what-
was.
They were forced to do this
Dude,
thing.
that's
and
such
they all
bullshit,
themselves-
Georgie. They fucking walk into a bar and have a moment and then go back and fucking
'Cause they
rah,
didn't give a
rah,
fuck.
rah.
'Cause
No,
they
dude,
didn't-
because it was, these people are really good on the inside. On the inside, deep down, they want to do the right thing and they want to get
But they
Enchantress
didn't
and blah,
really-
blah, blah.
No.
They didn't really touch on that. They were showing their sins, and they're pretty much putting their sins on the table.
But then they go out and fucking get together and do a tap dance down the street
What
and
did you
whatever.
think about the Joker? I'm not going to Suicide Squad yet. We're talking about the Joker.
Oh God, help me! The Joker, I thought, was, like I said to Georgie, like I said, this is just me recycling. The Joker I already talked about. The relationship between the Joker and Harley, I didn't talk about, and I thought that was weird. For what you guys said, I thought it was way too lovey, but it would make sense if it's Jason Todd. It would make sense if it's Jason fucking Todd because...
You really are still saying all that after everything that I just said. You think that it's too lovey. It's too lovey.
Absolutely. Way too lovey, dude. Dude, would you live for me? Or whatever. That's love.
That's
it's harsh,
love.
But that's love.
We just came off the
That is
Killing Joke talking about how
love.
he's too
Yeah,
sexually driven.
Will you live for me is absolutely
and then,
loving.
Now go throw your life away and jump in this vat of chemicals or you might die.
Right. But well, obviously
You'll see.
he
You'll
knows.
You'll see when the Joker's shown in.
Come on, dude.
Movies.
No, I don't buy it. I think
We'll see.
it was
That's
way
fine.
too
We'll be having
lovey.
this conversation.
Saves her by pushing her out of the helicopter. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that he does that
I agree.
are conflicting to the kind of abusive relationship or whatever.
So using her as a puppet to kill someone and is that lovey?
I didn't really read
Driving
that.
off a bridge and letting her pretty much just like. Okay,
I didn't read that scene
Batman
like that
might
though.
save
Like,
her.
I didn't read that scene like that.
You see the scene like that, and I mean, it was interesting to listen to your analysis of that scene, but I didn't read it like that at all.
I mean,
didn't see it as
I
like-
totally
I
did
can
because
tell.
like it's like, dude, the guy, he's totally just baiting the guy. He was totally like.
Well, he was
one way
going
or
to kill
another.
him anyway. He was going
Right.
to kill him immediately.
Right,
but I don't think
exactly.
Harley Quinn was the catalyst for that, and they played it out like she
It
was.
wasn't.
Like,
He walked in, he's like, "Yo, you got a bad bitch," and he's just like, "Okay."
right, so he's gonna kill her. He's gonna
Let's
kill him
play.
anyway.
Let's
out of
play,
love.
Mr.
But that's
Tattooed
the,
Man.
That's the point, dude. Is that
Come on, Nick.
he loves her and
Come on,
he's
Nick.
fucking crazy anyway, dude. He didn't have to bring Harley into fucking.
You're right.
Once you know what I'm saying?
I'm not.
You're
I'm
right.
sorry.
You're all right. So
No,
you're
once-
directed. You guys,
once-
when you guys direct
no.
your Suicide Squad
Hey,
movie, and I
hey,
get to
no,
see
no.
that scene,
Once-
I'm gonna go.
No,
That sucked.
Once Common said those
'Cause
words,
it's so boring.
he was dead. He was already dead.
He was
and like,
dead
that
the
wasn't-
moment he said
But,
it.
but I feel like it's also kind of a Joker thing. Like, I'm gonna just do something here. I'm gonna see how it plays out. Either
Let's-
way, I'm gonna kill you. What are you gonna do
But
about
no,
it?
in Joker,
Right, and
in
he was
Nick's
toying
and Corner's
with him. He was
Suicide
batting him
Squad, he's just
around.
gonna sit up and shoot him in the face.
No.
We already knew that was
That
coming.
isn't, dude. That isn't the point. The point is that using Harley Quinn like that wasn't like. That was more of just the Joker toying, like the cat smacking around the
You're
mouse.
right. So next time
But
when
it
I'm in the
wasn't-
bar and some dude's hitting on Heather, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, babe, sit on his lap before I punch him." And you're gonna be like, "Yeah, Dylan, that was, you know what? That was an all right move. That's cool, man."
dude, but
Nah, you need to.
What do you mean?
You're embarrassing.
Will you
me
can
right
back? Where the fuck is Corner going?
beer.
Can you grab me
Give me a water.
now.
will
Can
you?
you grab me a beer?
Listen. It's not at all that. That he
Embarrassing.
wasn't. Shut the fuck up. It's not at all that he wasn't a psychopath. It's that the psychopathic.
He's lovey and cute and gang too.
No. I didn't say he was lovey. I said the relationship between the Joker and Harley was too much of a love story for me, and not enough of the Joker is just the Joker, and Harley Quinn happens to be tagging along for the ride, which is what he is in most of the other.
Thanks, Steve.
Most of the other.
I feel like we need it.
Like DC in the DC animated universe. Any other time that you see Joker and Harley Quinn, any other time that I've seen him, Joker's been the Joker and Harley's just kind of tagging along, like running behind him, and he could take her or leave her. This one, that was like his main bitch. That was like his main squeeze.
Oh, so you would just
loved her.
recycle that same story in your movie then?
What do you
Dylan,
mean?
okay, you keep going back to that, but do you think you're
Hold on,
all biased
hold on.
because
What
of
do
you?
you mean? Recycle what story?
So would you which Harley Joker relationship would you have in your Suicide Squad movie?
I don't know. If I was to
I can
make
tell.
a Suicide Squad movie, I mean, the first thing that I would do is make the movie about Harley and the Joker and find a story in there that worked within the.
I agree with you on that. They
in
should have
the
done the
heads of
assault on Arkham story. They should have had Joker be the big bad guy.
I would do that.
Have Enchantress be magic, but make her magic way weaker. Like find a way to dumb her down
I
a
liked
little
the big
bit.
scale they went. I thought it was kind of cool.
They had to,
thought
but
it was
imagine
fun.
if Joker.
Really?
But like if
I know you weren't
Now
like
imagine
that.
if Joker was the main villain. Now would you still have Enchantress be that strong? You would have to dumb her down a little bit.
You have to, but at the same time, we were talking about earlier, this has to be a crew that could essentially stop a Superman-esque character.
Most
so to give
magic
her a,
can, not even super strong.
Well, first of all, they shouldn't have even brought Superman into it, because when you think about like
It was a
stopping
reason.
a Superman-esque character or something, like having them have to stop the Joker would have been amazing. Because then using
I
Harley
agree,
Quinn
but now
on
you're
the
taking away
inside
from
track.
Batman. You're taking away from what he can do.
What do you mean?
Batman can stop the Joker.
Okay, but this is the thing is that she obviously, you know, and you guys want to talk? We'll talk in a second about what happened after the credits and how weird that was for so many reasons. But like, why is why would you just give that job to the Batman? Like, he's just some dude in a cape. Like, wouldn't you want to, like, control that as the government? You know what I mean? Like, the first time someone said, hey, Batman and the Joker fight, like, I'd be like, get the fuck out of the room, asshole. What, are you kidding me? Batman sometimes arrests the Joker. I'd be like, no, dude, I'm going to get the Joker. Like, he's a fucking menace. So if they took the Joker and moved him up to the main antagonist, right? So the Joker's the main bad guy. And all of a sudden, Harley Quinn makes sense in the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I agree 100%.
all of a sudden, these other characters that have very human abilities
become extra human now.
They become Killer Croc is strong and swims underwater. It makes sense to have him attack the Joker.
His purpose was to plant a bomb.
You know,
that was his purpose to a fucking movie.
The fire guy, Diablo, wicked fucking OP. You know what I mean? Wicked OP. But it makes sense for him to go after the Joker. All these characters, it makes Deadshot is good with guns. It makes sense for him to go after the Joker. It doesn't make sense for them to go after a god. Like, okay, I'm Enchantress. If I'm that dude with the fucking crazy tentacles, he shot at him and it didn't work. So what is Deadshot? What's he good for?
Dude, I agree 100%.
You know what I mean?
They screwed up with the main bad guy in this movie.
If it was the Joker, it would have been amazing, and it would have given credence to absolutely everything.
Yeah, but don't you think that's gonna be the antagonist in the Batman standalone movie?
Absolutely.
And you'd be taken away from that?
I don't know what they're gonna do.
I'm gonna guess that's what they're gonna do.
I would have guessed that they would have did in the reboot, and they did Scarecrow, and I fucking almost lost my fucking shit.
Yeah, but I don't see
Christian Bale
them
one.
like doing another like trilogy type thing because they already have a universe going now with the whole Justice League thing. I'm not saying the Batman won't have a second standalone movie, but with the Justice League already being assembled, I think he's gonna get his standalone movie. That's maybe gonna be about.
They already confirmed that it's gonna be Arkham Asylum is where the Batman solo movie is gonna be.
So that is going to be
really.
Yeah.
That will probably be Assault on Arkham. Why wouldn't that be? If you think about the Assault on Arkham cartoon, the animated series, which I think all of us have seen, like that really is kind of, even though it's the Suicide Squad, it's also Batman. Like, why wouldn't you take his point of view to that? Yeah. Way more than the Suicide Squad.
If you're gonna call that a Batman
what were you saying before?
That's a very minimal Batman role.
What were you saying?
So they could swap that though. They could add him more in it.
What were you saying before? Me having biased or something about the Joker and stuff.
No, I was just asking, and I'm guilty of it. So like, you were talking about Deadshot earlier. I'm a huge Will Smith fan. He's one of my favorite actors. I think he's great. So like going into this, he was a little more jokey than the Deadshot I'm used to. But I think I might have accepted it because it was a
You're
actor
biased
I like.
because you like Will Smith.
So what I was gonna ask you, Dylan, is do you think Joker being one of your favorite villains of all times, and Jared Leto being one of your favorite actor, well not favorite, but like an actor that you love and look up to, even as a musician.
Yeah.
Do you think that just influences you?
He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
That's what
but I'm not biased.
Some of the stuff that you're saying, no disrespect, I feel like you're reading so much into it, and it's like, are you reading into things?
What am I reading into though?
Well, even the scene where like he's coaxed, like I guess that some of these things.
I'm thinking that I have a few scripts written out for Jokers, and I feel like that is exactly what he does.
Okay.
I feel like that's what he does.
Right?
And what'd you say?
I said, I was just trying to get you.
Yes, dude. Very well. Very well played.
Just trying to get you there.
Very well played. No,
Cool,
but
right?
dude, you know what? It might play a little bit of a factor into it, but not in that case. I think that I wish I'm like flip flopped with it. I wish that there was a little bit more Joker in this movie, and I definitely agree with. More, you need to have more gritty, abusive shit. As horrible as that sounds, you need to show that side of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But
horrible, and I get why people
love-
have a problem with that stuff, because that's a horrible thing in society. That being said, that's...
I love,
But that's the
right,
relationship.
but that's the thing. That's the
love the
relationship,
love.
and they're bad guys. You know what I mean? Like,
I love the love, and I love the bad part of it. Okay, but they need to show more of it in whatever their next relationship, like whatever the movie that shows their relationship.
Yes.
Now Joker just broke her out of prison, so we're obviously going to see this.
Which, how come the whole plot of the movie was him trying to like sneak her out, sneak her the cell phone, do all this, and then the end of the movie he just like blows in the side of the wall and
No,
walks in, like,
completely.
Could he not have done that
It was
earlier
dumb.
then?
It was dumb, but.
Well,
not,
you might not know. You might not have been able to do it.
I mean, the other thing
No,
too,
not
like-
but not so dumb because the whole movie, he did not have any idea where she was.
Yeah, he got to that dude, which brought her the phone, which could have been like, hey, I'm gonna come get you
He
out.
had no idea
But
where
then
she
she was
was.
getting
It
out
was a
immediately.
black site.
So he like blackmails this dude, holds him for ransom, bails him out from probably being killed, gives him money, gives him a cell phone to give to her to have her text him where they might be going and locate.
Or
Why
tracking.
not just track this guy down? Like, hey, you know that place that you go to work every fucking day? Give me the address, or else I'm gonna kill you.
Well, you're assuming
What?
that
Like,
you're assuming that he, has the resources to do that. You know what I mean? Like you assume that.
I mean,
well, because
who has the resources? Joker?
Joker, yeah. Like just because you saw it eventually doesn't mean that it started out like that or whatever. And I mean, yeah, I mean the continuity there
agree to a
isn't
point.
so great.
I
But
agree to a point, George, but I also feel like Belle Reve is like the Area 51 prison.
it's a black
style.
site prison. They
So,
say
like,
that. right
I
from
feel
jump.
like
I know that,
it
but
wouldn't
he got his
be as-
hands on
It wouldn't be
access.
as and you know what?
Oh.
Dirty cop got caught, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, like, what's up?" type of thing. So maybe he went the subtle route to not draw as much attention from Batman or whoever, because
Joker
breaking
also
in,
just likes to play. He's the Joker.
breaking into shit. Do not speak condescending to me like that, sir. Or were you being serious?
I was being dead up.
Oh, okay. So I think.
Wow, really, dude?
Whoa! Hey, let's get these guys another beer.
Because I feel like
Yeah, I
you're not
usually talk
seeing-
to you like that,
I,
dude.
I feel
That's-
like you're not seeing, or you think that like he said that I was reading too much into it. I feel like that I'm taking this
No, I
Joker
disagree.
character very seriously.
You always
because
take the
they-
Joker
You
too
do, though. You get
seriously.
defensive.
But that's
these
okay.
But the directors are taking him seriously too, and they're giving us this new look, but delivering the same message.
Can I say something about
And
the
you
Joker?
guys aren't seeing it.
No, I
you
disagree.
talking about your new look though? That's the one thing. Again, I liked him as a villain, but I also like and respect the fact that like they didn't try to do what Heath Ledger was. They didn't try to do what past Jokers were, and I respect them for
Yeah.
just doing a new thing.
Yeah.
They tried to target like you were talking about more
Trying
modern
to
day
follow
thing.
fucking Ledger is like.
What- but
how
that-
would you feel if that was your job to play the Joker
you
after
can't
that?
do that. So what they did is like, you know what we're gonna not do is not even take that road. We're
that's
just gonna like
okay.
take this path this way, and I liked that. So like, I do respect them for trying something different.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it didn't work for a Joker character.
Well, the
but
Joker
he
in
was a
Dark
cool
Knight
villain.
also really didn't look like any Joker we've seen before, anyways.
But I'm not just going off looks.
It was hyper
Looks-
noir.
it's-
It was like super
Yes.
realistic. It was so dark.
Oh no, I love the
Not
look.
30
I love-
like
I
Rick
love
Ross
the look.
chains and.
That's fine.
Was Heath Ledger in a rap video?
No,
Was he?
No, I was asking. He wasn't.
You know
because
what?
Jared Leto's Joker was.
And that push
He was, like, legit.
was pretty ridiculous. Like some of the marketing and some of the things that they did with all the characters, I thought was really corny. And I've always, ever since they ruined Batman v Superman moments, I've hated the marketing team over at WB or whatever. They've ruined a lot of shit for
Do
me.
you think they did better in this movie?
They did, and then they started putting everything out, and I had to stop. Like you were asking me, hey, did you see this? I'm like, nope. I stopped
I-
watching everything.
I
Did
watched
they put
everything I
every
saw.
Joker scene out before
That's what I'm saying.
it
I
came
stopped
out?
They did.
watching.
All of them.
I'm going to watch
But it wasn't
two
based on
trailers, probably tops now.
I watched the teaser and the trailer. I'm out.
Right.
That's,
Because
that's what I do now.
I watch
Every
every
That trailer done.
No.
They've ruined
I'll see the movie.
some huge moments in Batman v Superman, and I'll never forgive them for that. So I did the same thing with Suicide Squad. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, especially you started throwing.
We
in
get it.
Joker
We're
and
gonna
stuff.
see it. We're gonna
You know?
fucking see it.
Exactly.
You don't need to do that.
Exactly, dude.
Dude,
And I
you're
was
not
like-
gonna talk anyone into seeing this
And I
movie.
was
Like all you had to do was say
complimenting them, too.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but I feel like-
and everyone would be like, "We're in. We're
Yeah, but
going."
if you've read a comic, I feel like to an extent you're gonna see most of the movies that come out. So it's not probably targeting you. It's targeting.
But
the
you
people
don't
who
even
shop
do.
at the Hot Topic
You
or
don't
these
need
kids.
so much in it. All you have to do is flash Jared Leto as the Joker. You know what I mean? Going.
That
I'm not
first
gonna kill
trailer,
you.
like,
I'm just gonna hurt you real bad.
That's it. That's all you had to do.
all you
That's
needed,
all.
son.
Just the
That's
end.
all you needed.
What movie's that? I'm gonna go see it. And
like Star
that
Wars.
topic is gonna see it too.
The Star Wars trailer.
Rogue One.
The end of the Star Wars trailer, Vader breathes.
Done.
Done.
I'm in.
Done.
You don't show me Vader.
But,
I don't care.
and that's an interesting
done.
point you can make because that's a really good way to make
That's
a trailer.
smart.
Because when I heard about Rogue One, my response was, I don't fucking give a shit. I want to see episode 8. Fuck Rogue One. I don't care about it. And then I saw the trailer and was like, holy fucking shit.
I'm more pumped
seeing
for
that
this than
movie
any other
now.
Star Wars movie ever.
Absolutely. I was like, that movie's gonna be the bomb. But
That's
it
what
didn't
they
ruin
need to do.
shit. It just was enough to be interesting. So
Bass drops.
I have no idea what that movie's gonna do.
No, it's
clue.
no one has any idea what's going on. It's just like, what the fuck is this? I'm going tomorrow. But I don't need them to be like, so this is what happens. So Vader shows up at the last minute, and they're gonna build a Death Star on this chick. Like we don't. No one knows what it's about. No one knows who the fuck is in it. We just know that it's there.
Yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
well, then we'll talk about that when that happens. If the viewers want us to do
Oh,
Star Wars,
I'm
we'll
excited.
We'll do I can't wait to show you my toys. Yo, and speaking of that, like they took out quite a few Joker clips that we did see in trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Way
grenade,
too many
the
of
grenade
them.
pin pull with his teeth.
Yep.
We did not see that. Bye bye. We didn't get to see that. Can't wait to show you my toys.
Well, remember very
Harley's-
early on
Wait, I thought
when
it
we
said-
first started doing podcasts, I mentioned that they
he
were
said
talking
something else.
about.
He was sitting down.
Remember they
He
were
was like holding his cheek.
they
He
were
never
talking
said-
about how they were going to nerf the movie.
Yep.
Remember that? We talked
Yeah.
about it very.
Had a
It was one
bunch
of the
of
first things that we
reshoots
talked
and-
about that
yeah.
was off topic.
Yeah.
That was that they did a bunch of reshoots and you were like, no, it was just to put in some more action or whatever, and that
Yeah, because
you
they
had
said they
read
were going to
stuff
add too
about
much
it or
comedy
whatever.
because of Batman vs.
Well, the
That's what
rumor
people
was
were
that they were
afraid of.
adding more
Yeah.
comedy, and then Ayer responded saying, "I think Ayer needs to learn from Snyder and not talk as much. I think Snyder
That'd be
gets Snyder's probably one of the most hated dudes in comic book history. But I mean, well, loved and hated. But like, dude, he doesn't respond." He doesn't care because like he knows what kind of shit they can get you into.
Yeah.
Ayer is just like, I kind of like his style because he's like, yo, fuck you type of personality, and he's got a good resume. But it's like, dude, like, just take it back a little bit. You don't need to respond to the Jason Todd rumors. You don't need to respond to the guy saying fuck Marvel. You don't need to respond to this and that and that. It's like this.
If that turns out that it's not Jason Todd, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Because what a
you need
swing
to
and a
just
miss.
assume that now and let that be. If it happens, a pleasant surprise.
I mean, he's already said that.
Exactly.
So
he's already
just-
said
you
no.
have to-
You can't
I'm
play
so
like
disappointed.
that
Welcome to
conversation
DC
shouldn't be
Universe,
I'm
happening.
so
Yeah.
disappointed in that.
This shouldn't.
I was
Alright.
such a
So let's
I was
talk-
pushing that conversation with
Yeah.
all of you guys from the jump, dude. I was like Jason Todd, and then all of a sudden he came out and said it. I was like, fuck, that kind of
Yeah.
bummed me out. But I was like, you know
Wicked
what?
bummer.
Let's see what they do. You know?
Can I do another like around? I'm sorry to keep doing these
No,
around the room
dude.
things, dude.
Let's get some control.
I like
here,
this. Yeah. I want to do. So we've talked a lot on the Joker.
Yeah.
What was your top? We'll say 2 characters. Like just going around the room. Like so, I guess Johnny, if you want to go for it, unless somebody else has got something already unlocked. Like, what were the 2 characters that like you liked, either surprised you, thought just did the best, were just exactly what you wanted, and I don't know. Like, what did you like?
I mean, I'm in that same boat with Will Smith. I like Will Smith a lot. He actually is my favorite actor.
Yes.
And I enjoyed Deadshot. I mean, I also think like they didn't do a bad job of portraying Deadshot like that too, because Deadshot's always he kills people, yes, but he's not like a horrible. Like, you have to be morally, like, bankrupt to be able to kill somebody at the drop of a hat for money, you know what I mean?
He's like
but
the
he's
douchier
not
Punisher.
Dude, he like somebody pays him to do a job and he does it.
Right.
If
Exactly.
you're not that person that he's paid to kill,
You're
he's
safe.
not gonna kill you.
Yeah, he's not a murderer.
Exactly.
He-
He killed
I mean,
that one dude when all of those people around. If you paid me to kill that one dude, guess what? I'm probably gonna have to go through all of those guys to get that one dude.
Yeah.
Right.
He will not kill anyone else, and that's like they
His
touched on
control,
that.
yeah.
And like I feel like that's kind of the point of Deadshot. Like he's that good that he's only gonna, and he's also
I
like
agree 100%.
still a human to the point. Like yeah, but like. I kill people for money. Yes, I'm a horrible person for that reason.
Right.
But I'm not going to kill other people just because. If I'm not paid to kill you, I'm not killing you. It's not happening.
Right.
And
You're not on my list.
100%.
I
He's more
appreciate
like an
it.
anti-hero than a villain.
Right, but that's how Deadshot is, though. Like even in the like,
great.
he's like that, and
Harley's
they
kinda like that,
they
too.
did that like. I didn't mind Harley. She had some corny lines, but like I thought she did a good job. Like,
yeah.
you know, like
She did so good.
Awesome.
really good as Harley Quinn. You know, I would say top 2. Those are it. You know,
Awesome.
I mean,
Deadshot and Harley?
yeah, Deadshot, and I would say Deadshot first. 'Cause
In that order?
and
Okay,
it's probably
yeah, yeah.
because I like Will Smith, but I appreciate
Hey, at
the
least you're
Deadshot
honest. You know what I mean? I
character.
respect that.
I do appreciate the Deadshot character, and I don't think that they made him too soft, too family, too much of a good guy.
Yeah.
Because they might not have touched on the fact that he only kills people when he's paid to kill that person. You know? And that's how it is. Like, in every Deadshot thing, he
Oh.
only kills that person.
And
I
that was a
appreciate
good
that.
point too. Like I didn't
'Cause,
really
like,
pick
yeah,
up on that.
he's-
Like he avoided the crowd and he literally
Yep.
just killed his target and that's it. Like
Yep.
that's cool. Like yeah, I didn't think of
That's what
thinking
Deadshot
of that
does,
way.
and that's why
He's an assassin.
Yep.
Assassin doesn't kill the crowd; they kill the target.
Exactly, but he is like obviously, like I said, he's morally bankrupt enough to kill people for money. But
Yeah,
You know.
that's kind of what assassins do.
agreed. So, but like I was when you walked out,
Where
I
it's
was
that
like,
certain moral
it-
flexibility, as they
right,
say.
exactly.
Gross
exactly.
point blank
If
style.
I was gonna have to kill that one guy, I'm also not that good of a shot. but
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go through all of those other people to get
Trust
to that
me,
one
I know. I've
person.
been shooting with
You know.
Playing.
Facts.
I'm definitely, dude. I might have to say.
Just say it. Just say it. We know it.
I might have to say the same thing, John.
I like the Joker too. Like,
but
he wasn't enough of the movie to me to pick him to be like.
And that's
to like
one
it.
thing, you know. I think that I'm gonna say probably Deadshot and Harley also, but I'm just gonna say with the Joker is that I'm glad because they could have like if the point of it
He
was
could have
him
taken over the movie.
being the bad guy, then yes, that's cool. But they could have had someone be the main bad guy, but also use the Joker in a lazy way. Just be like, well, everyone loves the Joker, knows the Joker, so let's use him. And he could have stolen the show away from the Suicide Squad. I like that he was a splash. Same thing with Batman. They peppered him in, they splashed Joker
Me too.
in.
I
and
thought
I was
he was
like,
being
there
there a lot more.
was just in there enough, and he had
Yeah.
just enough moments where I was like, this motherfucker's in the universe. Yes, Joker.
Exactly.
Yes, Batman. Yes. So
Flash
Joker.
too, yeah.
Joker was Flash, dude. Don't even get.
Sorry,
I
yeah.
was like pointing at. I was like pointing at the fucking screen like it's Flash. Yes. And Joker was not my favorite character in this movie. He's going to be probably my favorite character in the other movies because from what this taste that I've already had of the psychotic, the gangster, the love, and whatever. I can't wait for them to finally give me the full thing,
dose.
the full Joker in these movies. And I already have a lot of faith and I'm excited for it. Deadshot, love the family man aspect of, well, not family man, but like how dedicated he was to his daughter. He does bad shit. He's a bad dude. He does bad things. He's clearly a criminal, but he has a heart. He's got passion, and his passion is his child, and he does this stuff for himself a little bit, but also mostly for her. So I really love that. Harley Quinn, dude, I was like, some of her dialogue was a little whatever, but dude, I was chuckling at some of the things she was saying. I was chuckling at some of her mannerisms. The only two scenes that I hated when she talked was, I've been known to be quite vexing. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And then the other one was like, nice to meet ya, stench of death. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Other than that, she was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, what sealed the deal, because it was going to be Diablo, but what sealed the deal for Harley Quinn being my second favorite character in this movie is when she did she diagnosed Deadshot in the stairwell. I was like, thank you.
Doing your job.
You are crazy. You are poisoned by the Joker, but you still have that Harley aspect. You're still smart, because she is. She's smart. And then, of course, obviously when Enchantress shows what she really wants with, like, the family scene, which is, I was
what
like,
a good scene.
cherry on top of my Harley Sunday. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? And she looked good. She looked good doing everything. She's a very attractive woman, but it wasn't like her sexy didn't take away from her badass and her crazy. I think they all melded.
It just complimented it.
Exactly. I think it really blended everything good. Because I'm like, damn, like, dude, we were sitting in the theater, that dude behind me, when they're talking to Amanda Waller when they rescue her, and I just, like, it pans up with behind her, and it just shows her legs going up for miles, dude. And you just hear this dude behind me going like, damn! Like, just sort of like,
Middle of a silent
I'm like,
theater.
yeah, bro, what you said. I was like,
I second that, yeah.
She looked so good. I love when she was getting dressed and they showed like the traditional Harley Quinn outfit, the mallet, and then she gets into like the modern age Harley outfit get up thing, and then also the homage, like when they're talking about like, and also that was a big moment for me because they're just like, yeah, the king and queen of or criminals of
And it cut to that
Gotham,
scene of them.
and they're dancing, and I was like, the king and queen of crime. Oh my god, Joker, Harley. It's like, yes, I got you. Like, such a fangirl moment for me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, I can't wait to show you my boner. Like, dude, I was fucking crazy, dude. I was losing my mind, bro. Losing my mind. I apologize. We're very, very vulgar on this. I'm sorry to all our younger viewers. Shut up. Just leave. But nah, dude. Deadshot and Harley. All day. I thought that one of the best action scenes in, I guess I'll just say comic book movie. I mean, we've had a lot of good action movies, but I think in comic book movies, like, we've had some sick stuff in, like, all of them. From Civil War to Man of Steel to Winter Soldier to Deadpool, and now we have, like, dude, I think the Deadshot shootout scene to the spirit jelly creatures, dude. The fact that they sped it,
awesome.
the fact that they sped it up,
It shows
made it
like
that
he was
much
just
better.
holding back that much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right, I'm done.
And I like the fact too, I feel like they made it like
Crazy.
he didn't do it to help them. He did it to show Rick Flag, like, dude, I can do it. Because Rick Flag's all talking shit. You'll be the first one to run. You'll be the blah, blah. He didn't do it to save them. He did it to prove to that one guy that, hey, I am better than you. So, because his first thing he says when he turns around was like, hey, how's that for running on you? Or something like that. It's just like, he's such a badass. I'm sorry. Nick, who are your favorites? Go, you
He's
go,
like,
sir.
my favorite characters were the ending and the credits because this movie was shit. Like,
Zack Snyder, I like to think him as a
I
character.
fucking hate this movie.
I was a huge fan of the secretary.
Go.
You're not far off.
Oh,
Listen. I think what you guys said about that Deadshot thing is absolutely right. But I think one of the reasons why that was such an amazing moment is because of the rest of the movie was so lackluster. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if you take... So we were listening to bands a little bit earlier. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like, so that wicked whack metalcore song that has that amazing breakdown in it that just pops out of nowhere and you're like, holy fucking shit, what is that? What is that breakdown? Like, who thought that? That's like the greatest breakdown ever. Which is, you know, it's incredibly jarring to hear a really mediocre, pure piece of music and have one section of it be really good. Like that Siler song that we were playing earlier that has that really cool part with the...
You like that one...
That
line?
one little spot in it is really, really well thought out and really well done musically, you know what I mean? We're all musicians, by the way, except for George.
Yeah,
who's
I
just
don't
a
do
cunt.
shit.
He's just a cunty fanboy.
He's a rapper, actually.
Yeah, professional rapper.
Tons of chains on right now.
You can't see them, but there's chains.
Jingle.
He's just mad because the Joker had bigger
So
chains.
again, like that was a great scene, but I think in context of a great movie, it would be a memorable scene. But in this, it was like the only really great scene besides arguably maybe the one of Harley and the Joker, you know, being married with the kids. Like, that was amazing. Like, I got choked up for a second. But again, it was because the movie was so mediocre. I was like falling asleep. And then that happened, and I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good.
So, wait, your favorite two characters were like non-Joker Joker and non-Harley?
No, I was just talking about the scenes and the fact that, like, in the sea of mediocrity, there were these moments of, like, absolute genius. You know what I mean? Where I was like, oh my God, that's so good. And there were a couple of them. My favorite, well, first of all, like, I didn't have a favorite character. I disagree with you guys on the Will Smith point. I don't think Will Smith was the man for the job in this, even though he also is you know, I like, Will Smith's really hard not to like. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know anyone that doesn't like Will Smith. That being said, he's a leading man. You know what I mean? Like, for him to play kind of a side role in a movie full of, you know, or an equal part role in a movie that was this big, I thought it was like, it was really kind of undermining what he can do as an actor. I didn't like him like this, and I didn't really care for it. I mean, I liked some of the stuff that was written, but most of it I thought was like kind of played out, and I didn't like the one-liners at all. I'll say that I liked the Joker a lot. I liked what Leto did with him, you know, or Leto rather. I like what he did with him. And I was surprised that I liked Harley Quinn as much as I did, because I was sure that it was going to be a misogynistic piece of shit, that she was just going to be all tits and ass the whole time with no substance. And like you said, you know what I mean? Like, there was something there to that character. Something about Margot Robbie had like a really, she was cute, she was sexy, but she was a bad motherfucker, and one did not take away from the other. The way you said that was perfect. The balance of all her attributes, I think, were right there, and that was jarring for me to see her done that well. Now, of course, you had to contend with, you know, the one-liner, you know, the stench of death, and the, you know, I can be quite vexing, you know what I mean? And she did what she could with those lines that are just terrible fucking lines.
Compared to Croc, though, she still...
Yeah, well, I mean, true.
Whoever wrote that.
Oh, just terrible.
Awful.
But I mean,
Awful.
she herself doing the character wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. And it was so good that I could see it. And I, more so liking that, I love the way that she played off Jared Leto. I love it. I love the two of them together as a thing. Like, you brought up the painting, the Alex Ross painting of him in the tuxedo or whatever. And I can see it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's so close. So I'd say out of all of them, Harley was probably my first favorite. And my second favorite was Diablo, I think, easily. Because Diablo, I thought, first of all, the guy who played him was terrible. He was a terrible actor. Just couldn't act at all. I mean, you could have taken my sneaker off and fucking put it in the movie and just had it been like, "What'd you say, bro?" And yeah, I thought he was a terrible actor.
I'm
like,
not saying
oh
he
my
like
God.
deserves an Emmy. Or
No, dude,
Grammy
terrible.
But
Dude,
I
some of
think
the
he's not
lines
bad.
that he spat out were terrible. He had no story arc whatsoever. Like, he literally went from 1 minute like, "Bro, I'm not helping you, bro. I'm never hurting anyone again," to, "Well, are you gonna help us now?" "Sure, bro, I'll help you now, bro." You know what I mean? And I was like, come on, man. Like, where was the fucking paradigm shift there?
It wasn't that
development.
There
simple.
was no development.
There was.
It was
Because it
literally night and day.
No,
He
it was,
flipped the
no.
switch.
That was Will. Yeah, no, you're.
What? What are we doing? Oh,
Karate
what?
chop
Back
the
on the
table.
table?
Your
Dude, I'll
karate
karate
chop.
chop
No,
I'll
this
karate
is-
chop you, George. You don't fucking...
Bring it, bro.
You don't want to...
Yo, man, you can't touch me, man.
I thought it was weird how tragic that character was. Like,
Yep.
he was so overly tragic and so overly disturbed by the things that had happened to him or whatever, and like painting a picture of a character, you know what I mean? Like, Killer Croc is what he is. Boomerang is just
Best
atrocious character.
Yeah, no, I understand.
To put in a movie, but Diablo is actually kind of interesting. I was like, okay, so who the fuck is this guy with the fire, and he, has a really bad temper and loses all these things, and, the fact that they put him in that water cooling pipe, that was really severe punishment, and the fact that he just kind of took it as like, attrition, and it was, yeah, it was really, he was really a surprisingly cool character. The fact that they did absolutely nothing with him was sad to me, because I don't think he's a throwaway character. I feel like they just pissed him away, like they were like.
Well, he's not gone. He's still around.
And he also
is
almost
he?
took on the end dude. Like, I mean.
No, he definitely is dead, isn't he?
No, he's not. He got fucked up, but he's not dead.
No. Plus,
I
what they chose to do with him in the end, kind of like via Iceman X2,
Yeah, that was
or
cool.
whatever, where he just kind of like
Phoenix
turned into
mode.
a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. I
That
was
was
like,
sick, dude.
I was like, all right, go ahead, Diablo.
I didn't see that coming. I thought it
No,
was
I
fun.
didn't see that coming at all. I was like, that's really cool. And like you said, the thing with the dancing flame, you know what I mean? Like the control over the fire and like what he can do with it. And for like kind of the paradox of like how controlling he can be with fire versus how out of control he is.
Yes.
And I was really into that character. And I was like, I'll watch a whole movie based on Diablo if they get someone to play him who, had a year,
They're not
year
changing
more
actors,
of
man.
acting.
They're not gonna.
What do you mean? He's just, dude, he's basically like a Mexican gang member with so much tattooing that you can't really tell who it is anyway, so.
Maybe I'll.
Well, no, actually, the guy who plays him is like some pretty boy dude who's played. You'll be surprised. All the tattoos are fake.
Well, yeah, clearly, like, that's what I meant. I
thought you were saying that that's how he was. I was
No,
like,
but
oh,
they
no.
totally ripped off, what's his face? There's a kid from Canada who got his whole
As a
fucking
skull
shit.
and stuff like
yeah,
that?
They
Yeah.
they ripped off his look
They're
completely.
modernizing it. It's
And speaking of which, did you hear about fucking Diane Word is pissed off
The nth word.
because of fucking
I don't care.
Joker taking
It's
their
okay because
Which
saying,
is
saying that
interesting.
they jack swag, it's like no, dude. No one's jacking any swag or whatever. Like
Diane
just-
was just trying to stay relevant. They want to like be involved and feel like.
Oh,
like
Diane
somebody-
Ward will always be relevant.
No, they will not.
All right, listen. So mine was Harley and Inferno. Georgie,
Diablo.
that's what I just said. Mine was Harley and Guy Who Turns on Fire.
My top two are Captain Boomerang and Captain Boomerang.
Can I do
I
Captain
don't know,
Boomerang
I just-
twice?
When I left there, my first reaction, my first instinct was definitely Harley stole the show. I like what they did with her. She was great, and I think by her being in your top threes, like all of you guys, that I'm not wrong in saying that. So I'm gonna give her my number one spot, agreeing that corny lines here and there, but like she was a cool character, and I like her as an actor. She did fun. Honorable mention would definitely be Deadshot, but I liked Enchantress. I liked the mystical, overpowered element. One of my favorite like scenes, just visually, was like when she put her hand down and she goes Enchantress,
Oh,
and
she
the
was
other
sick.
one comes underneath and her hand.
Very
like,
good.
that was dope.
I would
Great
just
moment.
want to stand up and like yell and do like a jump and touch my heels together. Like that was just fun. I like
Great.
that. I'm very easily entertained as long as you're keeping it's visually appealing, and I love that. Pacific Rim, Sucker Punch, some of those movies like they lack stuff in certain areas.
Zack
maybe.
Snyder movies?
Well, one of those, yeah.
Who did
it's-
Pacific Rim? Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah, Del Toro, and he's not doing the second one, but I'm really bummed about that.
Who's
Anyways,
the second one?
visual stuff? So you love Zack Snyder
But
movies.
I love that. Yes, Michael Bay. No,
Is it Michael Bay really?
no, it's not.
Dude,
It's
I was
not.
about
I
to
forgot
say,
who it is,
fucking
but
Suicide
No,
by
go ahead.
Silver.
no, it's fine. I liked that. one thing that
It's very cool.
I'm like gonna like
Absolutely.
I'm contradicting myself because I agree with Dylan when he was talking about like wanting a more Assault on Arkham movie where it's a little low key, a little more controlled environment. But I'm a sucker for visuals, so like adding Enchantress and giving her the powers and these cool, like what they created and what they did with this movie was fun, and I like that about her. I thought the actress they got for her was like, she was pretty good. I'm not familiar with anything she's done.
God.
I thought she looked fly as hell.
Yeah,
I
she
liked,
looks good. She
I
looks
liked
very good.
her movements. I love the like older style stuff. Like I'm a big on like mythologies and like Egyptian mythology. Like I know this wasn't Egyptian necessarily, but like it was like that very like old. I liked it.
Dude, actually, speaking
If
of
it used to
Enchantress,
be
did you see her
gods.
headdress? How is it that moving eyes?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was like looking around. Dude.
That was like creepy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
it
little
was
cool things like that,
And like when
yeah.
her brother came back, said, "Where are we?" It's like the same place, just in a further like time period or whatever she had said. Like that was really cool. I liked her character.
Great Superman.
And it was and you guys might be right. I'm just saying that as a character, I liked her. I'm not saying she was
As
like,
a
the best fit
standalone,
for
if
this
you
movie.
took her out, dude,
Yeah.
if you took her out of context and just had her as a character, amazing.
She was sick. Like everything about
Why
the,
is she
the way
fighting
they
a guy
portrayed her.
with a gun?
No, but the way they portrayed her, like the first time that Waller's showing her off, it's like, well, why should we do that? It's like, and she says Enchantress right after the hand scene, she like does that like eye looking up, fucking Slipknot type shit, and just appears next to the dude and drops that book down. Like I was like,
Hold on, you mean Slipknot the band,
What
not
the
Slipknot the throwaway character.
yeah, Slipknot the band, that's the throwaway
Very
character.
good.
He was probably my first favorite as well. No, I liked that scene. Like that was cool. She could just anywhere she like unlimited power. She could help this government. She could do whatever she wanted. So, anyways, like to keep it short, I'm not gonna keep going on.
So hold on for a second. So what about? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm gonna. What about like the government? And never mind. You know, because it just goes more to how thoughtless the story was. But like we can control her. We have her heart. This being of unlimited
Well,
power.
I
We
was
have
actually
her- we have her
I was
heart.
actually gonna touch on that. I like how it's very government. It's very politician. Like these people, they're like so used to like having the answers to everything and figuring. But like we see this in politics nowadays, where people like bite off more than they can chew, or just do like ridiculous, stupid shit.
What was the name of the black
And like
chick?
I think that what
Amanda Waller?
Amanda Waller. Who played her?
Viola Davis.
Great job.
She did a great job, but
Yeah,
but
that
I
was
liked
unbelievable.
how government she was because she shows up, and like I was telling you this in the text message, with Enchantress, she's just like, because I agree, we got her heart. Hold on, what? You ever like? But that's so political. That's such a politician thing to say. That's such a
It's
government.
a Trump thing to say with
it's-
the wall. It's equatable.
but listen,
We're gonna build a machine.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Is
Wait,
that
Enchantress
it's
was Trump.
It's such a freaking like that's so cliche. It's so true though.
We need to keep the humans out.
These politicians would be like, well, we have her heart so we can control this super demon.
Yeah, and literally
So, like-
everyone else is going, whoa, what the fuck are you talking
But
about?
that's what I'm.
Because the heart is going to keep the Mexicans out.
But that's what I like, though. I thought it was like really, really. Oh, I saw this interview with David Ayer. He was wearing a hat that reminded me of you. It says,
Make America
"Make
great."
Mexico great again."
Oh, I love it.
I was like,
awesome.
what? I was like, Nick, you need that. But
I do need
dude,
that hat.
I loved it because they took something like Enchantress, thousands and thousands of years of dark magic or whatever, and they think that they had control over it, and then of course it gets out of hand, and now they have to. They're just like, well, shit, let's put Task Force X out there to go get them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like, I like that.
We definitely need to have someone with guns. Because guns will
But
work.
it's dumb, dude. I get it.
But it would've
it's
been- she would've been awesome
but
as a
dude,
Superman
that is
villain.
what Suicide Squad is, dude. Even in the comics, some of the stories are so like ridiculous.
But you didn't
they
put-
send them out to do stupid missions
this
because
is
that's the point of them. Is like, hey, if you can actually pull this off. Cool, we'll knock 12 years off
exactly.
your thing. But guess what?
Triple
You're
life.
probably
Yeah.
not going to. That's the point of the Suicide Squad. And I think they did a good job at showing how asinine the mission was. Because it was dumb.
And Nick, you keep
It
talking
was
about the
dumb.
guns and how that lame that was, and what did Harley do in this world? Captain Boomerang and what's the ice guy?
He had boomerangs, though.
Yeah, but guess who he's the villain to? Is fucking Flash. You're telling me he can throw a boomerang faster than Flash can run? Like, how is that in the comics any better? Like, they're
It's
using what they have to.
Not any better.
hey.
But this
so,
is the
But they're
thing is
using
that-
what
So
they got,
but
dude.
you're cool with Batman going against Superman? Like, dude, I'm a huge
Yes.
Batman fan.
Lasers. You're dead.
Yeah.
But that's the saying. It's
Well,
like you're just like
Batman versus Superman played off of all the things that Superman's a good guy, want to do X, Y, and Z.
I get that
and Batman played off of
I
them.
get
So
that,
I mean,
and I
it
get
made
that
complete
Batman
sense.
is superior, like intelligence and combatives and whatever. But he's definitely better than the Suicide Squad. But all I'm
But the
saying
way
is
that they
that
played the
there's
two off each
shit-
other was perfect.
There's dude, I agree with you 100%. I think how they portrayed all of that in BVS was excellent.
Okay, so the two don't equate. It's
But
not a one-to-one
all
ratio.
I'm saying
You
is that
can't-
they're in this universe. They're living in a world where there's crazy shit, and you do with what you will with the crazy shit. And I think that they bit off more than they could chew. And you know what, dude? This is the comic book courtroom. Maybe I am defending this. Maybe you are trying to prove it guilty.
Ooh, he's like the Tischler line,
Maybe
dude.
you are. He said it.
He said it. He said it.
What? We're some kind of Suicide Squad. He said it.
Dude, that actually happened in the movie too, didn't it?
Hey, don't hate.
I remember seeing that and being like, "Oh God, help me!" These are the Tischler line.
But dude, I think that
Donald Trump said that, right?
Hold on.
maybe I am defending it a little bit, but I think that
okay.
it makes sense, dude. I think that it's not the best, dude. Believe me.
Can we talk post credits?
Not
Yes,
the
I
best.
was. Dude,
Yeah.
let's
go.
Can we talk post
Oh,
credits?
also before we go post credits, did you guys like because you could tell
No.
Harley loved like Joker, and I think I applaud Margot Robbie for her performance in that because you could tell she was broken. You could tell that Joker was starting
That's
to
what
get
I
into
said.
her head. But with the scene where she finally says, like, when he's asking her, and he's just like, "Hey, will you die for me?" And she's like, "Yes." Like, and she like looks at him like, "Yo, I love you. Like, we are such a good match."
Dude, the chemistry
And then-
between
and then
those
he-
two
And then
was
he looks at
palpable.
her and he's just like, no. That's too easy. Will you live for me? And then she says, she pauses and she like is thinking about it because now we're going into Joker territory where like, what does that mean in the Joker's mind? And then she says, yes. And then he's like, oh, like he was saying like, please say it. And then he's like, he looks at her and he goes, careful. And now I think that is also, tell me I'm diving too deep or reading too much into it, but I think the Joker realizes what he is, and he's looking at her being like, careful, because once you sign on the dotted line, now you're dancing with the devil.
I was gonna say contract sign.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
dude, careful, because he's like, yo, you don't know, I don't think you know what I fully am, but you're going to know what I am. I will protect you, and I have some love for you in my own psychotic, crazy gangster kind of way. But dude, and then all of a sudden she just falls back, and I love the scene where he turns and walks away as if he's like, okay, well now there's my Harley Quinn, and then he stops and he's just like, fuck, rips the jacket off and then dives down in there with her and picks her up, and then they start. I was like, dude, this Joker and Harley Quinn combo is going to be immaculate. It's going to be awesome.
They play off each other.
It's
very
going to be
well.
awesome, dude.
Very well.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I just need to get that off my chest. So yeah, Batman and Violet.
not Batman.
Bruce Wayne and Amanda Waller.
Oh,
That's
Batman.
that's a-
She knows though.
Does she know in the comics?
Does she own the gun? What?
Does she know in the comics? What I say real fast?
Oh! I thought you said does she own the
she-
comics? I thought you were being
Does
sarcastic.
she own the?
I was like, wait, does she own the Batman comics? What?
She knows of. I think I'm trying to remember. I believe
She's the
there's some
government. They know
issues
everything.
that they know each other, and I think even in Assault on Arkham, they're like,
thought
"Hey,
that they-
careful!
yeah.
Like we know like your type of connections. Let's keep this like relationship
I
strictly
thought that was
professional."
like real. I see. I didn't know. I don't know much about the relationship and the fact that he was like she was playing to the point that he's Batman, and he was just kind of like allowing it. You know what
I'm
I
not
mean? Like,
familiar
so
enough
she
with that
gave
to
the
know.
dossiers of all these people to you, and you're gonna be directly involved with this, but nowhere around. Like, I mean, either they think we're the dumbest fuck people on the planet, or she knows that he's Batman.
So let's pretend they didn't add that and she didn't know he was Batman right then and there.
So
She's handed him
what?
the documents of all these metahumans who
And
in
he's
a
like,
future
"Let me
movie are gonna be
take care
assembled.
of it?"
When she sees them in like 2 years all assembled,
That's
she's
what I'm
like,
saying.
wait a second, didn't I hand documents for all these people except that one guy? Oh
Yeah.
wait, that must be Bruce Wayne. Like,
And we give
she's
the
not
benefit
dumb.
of the
She
doubt
got-
that
she-
no one can
yeah,
pick out
I'm
Batman's
pretty
voice or
sure
whatever.
I want to say I can't even remember the freaking comics, but like definitely in Assault on Arkham, I believe that they like have this professional relationship where she has government information and Batman has Batman information, and they kind of play off of it. And I also think it's kind of funny that they have that Amanda Waller's her character has these documents, okay? So now we have Lex that has been studying these metahumans, and we also have her. So they now, like, there's people that know, and so the government knows about these people, but they're just like, well, shit, we can't assemble that team. So we're gonna try to assemble, like, they're working within their means. So now she's passing off all the Aquaman, like the big metahumans to Batman, and like, hey, can you do this? You know what I'm saying?
You just brought up a really good point. Like, he had Lex's documents. Why did he need Waller's?
This could have been before. This could have taken place.
Well, no.
before that.
So, that's another thing, actually. Thank you for bringing that up.
He did say, shut it down. Otherwise, me and my friends are going to do it for you. Is what he says when he's walking out the door. Shut down shut down the Suicide Squad. Otherwise, me and my friends are going to do it for you.
So you think that there's inference there that he's already talked to Wonder Woman?
I think that the
Superman.
information on Lex's drive
Well,
was
wait,
minimal.
Superman's dead.
Was minimal. I think.
Oh, you see that picture?
I think
What
the information that he has from Lex's computer was very minimal, because with Wonder Woman, all he had was the picture.
It may have been.
And some security. Now the government, there's documents, so they might have been.
Yeah, he has to get his resources from somewhere. So I mean, like, he has a start with like.
There's probably way like locations. Like, how is he gonna find Arthur Curry?
exactly.
Well,
You
maybe
know what I mean?
the shit that she gave him is helping him get to that point. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
or
saying?
like, oh, so you found this information about Lex, or from Lex's computer. Well, I have all their locations and their fucking names and blah blah blah.
Right. Exactly.
What is that?
That is a teaser sneak thing from the set, I guess, of Superman Resurrected. Spoiler alerts.
Really? You don't say the spoiler and then say spoiler alerts.
well, I meant for them, not you guys.
Has that been confirmed?
Yeah, this is from the set, I guess.
I don't know.
You don't like it?
No, I've seen that picture. I just didn't know if it was confirmed yet.
Well, we knew that was coming. That's not that much of a spoiler.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
it's
just
just
Man
looks like,
of Steel
yeah.
2 though. That's in production.
you said something about they wrapped
So
it
like,
up, right?
so I
They
mean,
did that?
Yeah, he's
thank goodness.
Back what?
Awesome. So I mean, we are.
Okay.
But
It's exciting stuff.
damn. I mean that.
So who's doing Man of Steel 2?
I don't.
Michael Bay. I
Christopher
think.
Nolan. Christopher Nolan.
Well, I mean, I commented on when I first saw it. I was like, dude, I hope Nolan and Snyder team up again.
I'd even be okay with that. I
Man-
think
Man of
if-
Steel is
when
up there with
when you have
all of
Nolan
them.
on a leash, or Nolan having Snyder on a leash, he does very well. That being said, I think 300 was amazing too. I thought they did
Batman v
300 very
Superman
well.
was amazing.
It was, you know.
I applaud Snyder. I think Snyder has grown from some of his
Watchmen
movies.
or whatever.
You think that Dawn of Justice was a growth from stuff like Sucker Punch and
Yes.
Watchmen and really?
Well, Watchmen wasn't his writing. I think going from
The fact that they changed the end to Watchmen makes me want to punch him
those movies.
repeatedly in the throat.
I think
changes
Sucker
the
Punch. I
end
think
of
Sucker
fucking
Punch was
Watchmen?
good, but obviously,
Sucker
like
Punch
you
was
can
cool.
definitely tell that like it was young. He's like
The storytelling
I like-
of that though is I love that.
But
It's-
it-
the
it's-
director's cut.
It's
like,
it's very stylized.
oh,
but it's
I
still,
love it.
but
it's
it's
so
still very
visually, you know
young.
what I mean?
Well,
It's-
no, the story though too, the depth of that, like it.
I don't even
you
remember
gotta-
the story.
Good.
To be
we're
honest,
watch
I'm gonna
it
go
next-
watch it again.
No, I'll let you.
But that's what I'm saying is
that
that you can appreciate that, but
Yeah.
you didn't appreciate the Batman v Superman depth. That's why I always find that
because
very
it had been
confusing.
cut out a lot. Like it had been so.
I feel like
all
you
over the
wouldn't
place.
feel that if Ultimate Edition got originally put out.
You're right, and I said that though. Like I liked.
I don't even
Ultimate
consider the
Edition.
other one a real
but
thing.
I do because that was the one I saw. That was the one I paid money to see.
But you
and that's
saw
the one I did.
Ultimate
No,
Edition now.
absolutely
You
not.
saw Ultimate Edition now.
I'm in the diametric opposite.
Oh,
I
man.
consider the one that I saw in the theater to be absolutely not the movie that was intended
No,
to be
that's
seen.
not a real life
The
thing.
one that I saw, the real one that I saw was the director's cut. And sometimes that's
Yeah,
not true.
director's
Sometimes
cut,
the
that's-
director's cut is work.
No, but that's
But-
the director's cut. That's their vision. That's what it. That's in my opinion what it should be for all of them. But that's not what a lot of people get. And I'll be honest, I might have not watched that director's cut had you guys not been here to make me watch it so we could do our stuff.
No,
that
a
we
lot
do
of
on
people
it.
are like
I
that.
would not have been that way because
too bad.
And that sucks. But like it was done so bad and so poorly that I just
Usually
didn't care.
director's cuts don't change the movie that much. There's a little bit of depth thrown in here, a little bit of depth thrown in there, but it doesn't radically change the movie to the point where, all of a sudden things make sense and have continuity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a character's development and not even development.
Yeah,
just
like it doesn't
his time
change
in
it.
Lexus.
It doesn't change
Sorry,
that much.
I don't even want
No, that's fine. Speaking of director's cut, whatever.
So what do you think about the director's cut of Suicide
I think
Squad?
I was going to ask you guys. Do you think there will be some type of director's cut for Suicide Squad? John,
Well, I
do you
think
think it's going to be something like that?
don't think that they can. I think they might just have some deleted scenes.
What do you
like
think they'll
typical
add if they do add something?
I mean, I don't. I feel like they're just gonna have some deleted scenes and blah blah blah. Just do the typical movie thing, because if they just do this, I feel like it's gonna be a huge uproar with. Okay, so why do you just keep cutting these movies into terribly cut movies?
Huh. That's a good point.
You
I
know
didn't
what I'm
even think of that until
like,
you said, when you
it's
said
like,
it.
okay, so you're gonna give us a horrible movie and then get us to, watch the extended edition.
The R-rated Suicide
You
Squad.
know, like,
That was already, they're not
you
gonna
know what I
do
mean?
that.
Like, it's
Good.
silly.
Yeah.
Like, at least Lord of
Be
the
so
Rings, like,
dumb
you
if
get the initial movie and it's great. And then they have an extended edition
Well,
with a few extra things.
But
you know,
you
what I
know that they're kind of leaning off of R-rated stuff because they're trying to...
appeal to a bigger audience.
Right.
Be able to have kids,
Right. Right, and I mean that DC is still grasping it, or whoever behind that marketing and production and stuff like that, they're still fucked up, and it's the same thing that happened when the paradigm shifted over with video games, and they couldn't figure out what was going on, and like Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. Remember when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out?
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget being in a store and a parent like going to buy that for his kid. And, the kids were like, oh, this is going to be so fun and blah, 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 blah. And I looked at them like, why are you buying that, dude? I'm like, do you know what's in that game? I'm like, your kid's fucking 9. And, like, the kid's looking at me like he hates me. And, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to be that guy. Like, there's an M on that box.
They didn't get what M was at that
But
time,
this is
you
the
know?
thing, is that no one really... that didn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's
this game
not
is
hard.
rated mature.
Yeah.
Like, well, what the fuck does that mean? It's a video game. It's like Pac-Man,
I
right?
think my kid's
No,
mature.
it's not, dude. You beat hookers to death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a different fucking thing. And it's the same thing in the marketing department of DC, is that they're... or whoever the production company is, that they're still stuck on stupid with, like, well, it's comic books, right? Kids like comic books. They haven't realized that... they haven't... Either they're too stupid to realize that the movies that they should be making are R-rated, or they're just so greedy for money that they're trying to turn them into...
It's probably the latter.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
You know what I
think
mean?
it's- I think it's
It's
the money.
it's so sad.
Absolutely.
To take out those scenes from Batman versus Superman, what kind of dumb fucking idiot do you have to be to do that?
I agree.
To
It is
ruin movies.
Absolutely silly.
And I mean, if they're doing, like, if we're going to put out the teenage cut and then do the R-rated cut, I almost wouldn't even mind it. I almost
I mean,
wouldn't
if they're gonna
even
do
mind
that,
it.
be upfront about it. But don't, like, put a movie out and then, like, a month later be like, all right, so this movie was not received.
Well, you
how
know
we
what,
wanted
dude?
it to be,
It's
so...
it's all about the political
Here's the full
correctness
version.
of this
Agreed.
of what's going on right now. This day and age, you have to like you have to say things a certain way. You have to approach things a certain
Pandering.
way. You have to deliver things, dude. And actually,
The
I was
pandering everywhere.
I forgot who I was telling this to, but after because I was talking about how Rotten Tomatoes or whatever gave Suicide Squad like a 24 or some shit like
Yeah,
that,
real low.
and then gave the new Ghostbusters movie like a 78, which is like a 78. Like last time I checked, that's like Mad Max Fury Road, Godzilla, like some decent movies. And I'm like, and I started watching like the first bits and pieces of the new Ghostbusters one, and I was just like,
Is it good?
I'm like, this isn't like, I'm like, this isn't horrible, but this is
it's a lot of
not.
women's rights stuff.
I'm like, this is
I
not
think.
good. I was like, it's not
It's
horrible.
all a woman's based thing, so I think they're giving them points for that. Which I don't know. I
Which
haven't seen
sounds
it, so I
bad,
don't
but
know.
dude, like, really, like, think about it. And I'm like, and I apologize, like, if this sounds like really like dumb and ignorant to like any like lady like listeners, but like, dude, that's really how it seems. Because, and mark my words right here, Wonder Woman looks like an amazing movie, looks like a sick movie, but like, there's that whole like conspiracy theory, like, oh, they hate like the DC Universe movies or whatever. So far, they do. They fucking hate
Oh, the
the
Rotten
DC.
Tomatoes does?
Yeah. So, but I guarantee that the critics at Rotten Tomatoes, calm down.
There's not critics
That-
at Rotten Tomatoes.
all the critics that they gather for Rotten Tomatoes to make their judgment are gonna give Wonder Woman an excellent rating. They're gonna give it an excellent rating, and then when Justice League comes out, we're gonna go back to the same thing, and you're gonna have the DC fanboys crying and signing petitions and shit. I really feel like like that would be a thing, but that's a whole other conversation.
separate conversation.
Yeah, but
It's an interesting conversation to have, though,
but
considering,
really
like...
pay attention to it, dude. Like
I-
Ghostbusters movie was not
Well,
a
dude,
good movie. Like,
well, first of all, I could give two shits and a fuck about Rotten Tomatoes. Like, fuck Rotten
Right.
Tomatoes. I don't care. I like what I like. I'm not interested in someone's point of view.
But some
The
people are
fact that
swayed by that.
China, the whole fucking country, isn't letting the
Yeah.
movie in is alarming.
it's because of the content.
That's fucked up. But, I mean, that's
China
never
does
happened.
a lot of weird shit too, though. Like, you're not allowed to have more than one girl in your, or, like, I mean, they're
Well,
slowly
that's
changing. Like,
totally a different All right, we're talking about a piece of fucking art, used very loosely. You know what I mean? We're talking about a movie. We're not talking about like some weird government thing. You know what I mean? The fact that
It hasn't been greenlit yet, but
in,
we'll see. We'll see what
that's
happens with that.
very strange.
I mean, you know what, dude? And not that I'm one to give a shit about numbers, but Suicide Squad's been breaking August records. Of
course.
Been like making more money than like
It beat Deadpool's opening
Deadpool,
weekend.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Well,
just
beat Guardian Galaxy for like Thursday
Civil
night,
War.
some-
Like it's breaking records. But you know what? Once again, like. I don't care about them. I don't see any of the money. I want like a good movie.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a pretty decent movie. It was showing me. It was an introduction to a living, breathing DC universe world. But I don't know. I think that this discussion was good.
Yeah, it was.
I think there's a lot to look forward to. What we got next? We got Doctor Strange coming up next, right?
Doctor Strange is November.
And I'm not sure when Justice League Dark animated film, but I'm
I would
assuming
do that.
We could watch that and do a review on
I'll
that.
buy that one. I don't give a
And we
fuck.
absolutely got to do Rogue One.
Oh, of course. But that's December, so
Are
it's
still comic stuff?
yeah.
You know what?
They
I
did
feel
definitely
like
on that. Yeah,
if
we're
there's
good.
any movies, we're trying to stay like generally like in the fantasy comic book world, but like listeners, if there's a movie that you'd like us to review, we all watch movies.
Dude,
here.
Netflix
if
series
if you made it to the end of this podcast, say so.
Yeah.
I just want to
for
hear
real.
that somebody made it to the end of one of these podcasts. Because, I mean, we talk and we would have these discussions anyway, but, I mean, we're recording them and putting them out there and it is work. And, I mean, like, if you guys are enjoying this, great, but we'd love to hear that, like, somebody listens.
Thanks
to the whole
for
thing or
hanging out
whatever.
and having the discussion with us. Like comment.
Yeah.
If you
let
made
us
it this
know.
far,
Comments.
just comment.
We will
Captain
read it.
Boomerang
We will read it.
was the best character. Just comment that one line. and
Captain
we'll know-
Boomerang is the code word.
Yes, Captain Boomerang, and we will know that you made it this far.
So are we wrapping this one up?
I think this.
Yeah, I think
we're
John-
about to
So
wrap it up.
again, special thanks to DJ What's His Name, to Ant, to my brother for doing the
Yeah, we got a cool little graphic in
the
the beginning.
graphic. That was great.
Bravo.
Thanks
Moving
so
up in the
much.
world. Woo.
And
I'm gonna quit my job soon.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I'll
You
get my
guys,
tweets
you guys are
tomorrow.
turning us into rock stars. Holy
Yeah, dude.
cow!
Yeah, dude.
But once
Doctor
again,
Strange.
we we got Doctor
See you,
Strange,
Doctor Strange.
and Justice League Dark. I think those are
Yes.
the next, and obviously Star Wars Rogue. But
Any
like,
Netflix series, I think Luke Cage might be
Oh,
coming.
Luke Cage,
We're doing that shit for
bro.
sure. I don't.
Yeah,
care.
we-
I'll be
that's
the only
September
one here if I have to, dude.
That's
got-
September 30.
Is it really?
we got some
Yeah.
stuff coming up. We're gonna be doing as many
Pajama
reviews
party.
as we can, guys. Once again, Dylan,
Yeah.
Nick, George, John, Comic Book Courtroom. Thanks for hanging
Follow
out, guys.
us, like us,